This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. JList.com is a great source for so many pieces of anime merchandise, and they have a lot of Sailor Moon stuff right now. They have Sailor Moon plushies. They have Sailor Moon rulers and school supplies. They have high-end figures. They've got Sailor Moon cups and other kitchenware. They've got Sailor Moon stickers and stationery. They even have makeup products. Head over to JList.com right now if you're a big fan of Sailor Moon, and you might find something perfect for you. And now it's time to start the podcast.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
To the 483rd episode of the Anime Addicts,
baby.
Doing great so far.
Anime
Addicts Anonymous Podcast.
Oh,
What is our mission, peoples?
To
Make your anime...
Oh my god.
Well,
Make it worse, baby!
we're
Make that
doing so
addiction
great so
worse! Yeah, we're doing great today.
Here's what I'm gonna say. It's all my fault because I am having gone for how many episodes? 2 in a row? God damn.
You're throwing it off now.
I'm throwing it off.
It's to make your anime
Yeah,
addiction worse. That's what it is.
Make your anime addiction worse and tell your friends. Tell your friends about this podcast and get them addicted to us as well.
Yeah.
But I am Mandy, just a host of 1 out of 4. And I am joined by some other friends. And we have, up first we have Mitsuki. Did not drown, thankfully.
No, I didn't drown at the water park.
Very burned.
Hideously sunburned. I'm disfigured. I'll never be the same again.
Oh no.
I had my whole body was covered in heat rash, but I have survived, and I am still one in a lovely bunch of coconuts. And I'm here to spread my milk upon you all like a sweet nectar of anime goodness. Amen.
All right.
That sounds sticky.
I feel dirty.
That was a lot.
We all need showers now.
That was a lot.
You also heard a Mason.
That's
What's
me.
up, Mason?
But no one cares about that. And I don't care about what you guys don't care about. I care about two things right now. One, memes. 2, you dear viewer. So right now, before I forget, I have a really dumb idea, and I'm giving it out for free right here. So listen up. If you're sitting down and have artistic/Photoshop skills, you know how on like stickers on cars, those bumper stickers, they show like a Bigfoot or an alien spaceship, and they say like, "I want to believe" or "I believe."
Mm-hmm.
And I want someone, and by someone I mean you, to make a version of it like this. So you got your character, right? Or an alien, I don't care. But he's Naruto running into Area 51. But you make it say, I believe, or I believe it. I believe it. So you got the crossover. You got the memes. You got the aliens. You got the nerd crossover appeal with the anime. This is perfect. Run. This is free
Does it have to be Naruto? What if it's
just a Naruto running because it's I believe with the alien and believe it with the Naruto run. This is next level memery.
I feel like that meme could
make it.
Break
you have like
multiverse.
2.5 hours right now. Start it now. Make it. Show it to me.
What if it's the Devilman Crybaby?
But he doesn't say believe it.
You're right.
That's why
today we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
Oh, I see. Okay, I
Get
understand now.
Get it? This is next level. Please make it happen. You're welcome.
Speaking of memes, we also have Enzo. Welcome back.
Professional transition there.
The biggest meme of us all.
The biggest meme.
It is actually so good to be back. I am so, guys. I get it. I'm sorry. I missed the podcast for 2 weeks. I was moving, and then I didn't have my internet set up last week, so I just.
How dare you?
I know. I'm so sorry, but I'm here now.
Shame.
I'm here now. Oh,
Shame.
I deserve it. I deserve it. I was a bad nerd. I feel like if you're a good nerd, you call ahead to have your internet installed before you even move in.
Nerd alert!
I'm stupid. Anyway, I'm back. Life is good. Life is chaos and crazy, but I've been having a good time. I've been watching some anime, for you guys. So
anime, baby.
Good, because that's what we're gonna talk about today.
We gotta talk about the anime.
So if you would like to join us, if you'd like to become a part of the Anime Addicts Anonymous, I'm gonna mess up that name all day. Our own name. I had one job and I failed at it.
You've had too much coffee. Take the coffee away from you.
I am
Stop
I am on my
coffee.
second cup. So good luck to everybody. If you'd like to
Down
join the
bucket.
Anime Addicts
Triple A, baby.
podcast, I got this. You can go to aapodcast.com/join where you get a bunch of different additional episodes. You can get hentai episodes. We have one coming up tonight, and we had one last week as well where we review hentai. We had Hobby Addicts today, which you could also get, where I talked about Gen Con, Mitsugi talked about his water park experiences, and Mason talked about the new Quentin Tarantino movie. And Enzo,
I was watching esports.
he was watching esports.
Nerd
Being very
alert!
professional.
I was watching League of Legends while they were talking about their hobbies. It's fine. I was doing my hobby live, you know?
Yes. You can also get after party episodes and about up to 8 additional episodes per month for like less than $1. So come help and support us. You can also go to our Facebook at facebook.com/group/AAPodcast. You can go there and talk with our other addicts. You can also go to Discord where you have a fuck ton of stuff going on.
Yeah, a metric fuck ton.
The Discord is anime high school. It really is.
Really is.
It's just what it is.
So you can if you go to our website at aapodcast.com, there's a button at the top where you can click to get the link to our Discord. We have so many clubs going on. We have a health club, we have a manga club, we have an anime club, we have so much, and plus tons of conversations. Everyone's lovely and great. What is the current update with Health Club Maison?
Well, episode 5 just aired, so that routine just went live, and we're almost at like the
dumbbells.
Yes, for dumbbell non-kilo motoru. So we're almost at the halfway point. So at this point, you are either on board or you are just lying to yourself. So if you don't want to be a weakling, I urge you. I'm not asking nicely anymore.
You're either in or you're either in or you're out.
I like this metaphor that the Discord is the high school setting, and you don't want to be part of the go home gang because that's no fun.
Go home gang is
School's in session, and
Literally
Mason's
weak.
about to teach you your first
Actual
lesson.
weakness.
Exactly.
You can also come to my manga club, which is every other Wednesday. This Wednesday, we have Battle Angel Alita coming up.
Oh, sick.
So that'll be a lot of fun. If you would like to join us, if you're listening to this live, you still have time. Go to the Discord, go to the Manga Club channel. We have the pin notes there. You can see what chapters we're reading, what time we are doing this, and
10 p.m. Eastern time this Wednesday, the 7th of August. So
thanks, Mason, for jumping in on my club. I'm just kidding.
sorry. I'm just excited because I can actually make this one now.
Yes.
I don't have hockey that week, so I will be there in the flesh.
It's usually Mason and I, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of good conversations.
Oh yeah.
But if you're listening to this on Thursday, it'll be on too late. But you can the next one reading Nausicaa.
Oh,
So that'll be great.
okay.
I actually have not read the manga for that, but I hear
It's so
good things.
I hear it's like a masterpiece.
That it is.
I
Who
hear
would've
that.
thought, huh?
I heard Mitsugi approved this.
I did. And
We also had-
Nausicaa is one of my few waifus, so be good to her.
It's a good one. It's a good one to have.
Yeah.
We also have Anime Club, which is run by our friend T-Rose. And we had that scares me every time. We had our first meeting last Wednesday, which was for Razafon, the first 5 episodes. Thank you everyone who showed up. It was massive. We had so many people there. It took us like 3 hours to go over the entire discussion.
Damn.
And it was so many, such a large variety of opinions. Some people loved it, some people hated it. So it was really good discussion.
Shit, you make
It was super interesting and insightful. Like so many times I just heard people be like, wow, like I didn't even consider
I didn't
that.
think of that, yeah.
Yeah, like I appreciate this story so much more.
Huh. I was gonna say you milked 3 hours out of that anime.
Yeah.
All right.
So the next one will be Chihaya Furu, and that will be on August 14th, 10 p.m. EST. Come to our Discord, check out the pin notes. That'll be so much fun because I love Chihaya and I'm excited to talk about it. So giant thanks to Icy for leading it and setting everything
he killed
up.
it. He killed it.
Yeah.
I do want to mention though, right now, personal view, the first 3 episodes of Chihaya Furu are vastly inferior to the rest. This is because they are like a flashback when people are like children and they come off as brats, and it's not how the show is at all. So just please stick through those 3. Once the show shifts to present day, it's all great. It's one of the best sports anime out there. More interesting and more consistent and more
I agree
better
with
than
all of this.
Haikyuu.
Not a sport.
I'd argue that.
Damn, those are some hot takes.
So
Not a sport.
I'm ready for this spicy.
See you there,
Spice Boy
Keith.
Mason. So, yeah, you could do that. Also, Icy has put up notes, our show notes, about the World Cosplay Summit. So if you'd like to check out our show notes, if you're subscribed to us, you can check that out as well. Hopefully, we will have time to discuss it maybe next episode. We're so packed today, we didn't have time.
We're always
but I know he's
packed.
excited about it.
We packed.
We pack, baby.
So yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this episode because in honor of this just horrific weather, we will be talking about the worst climates in anime. So
Global warming is not real.
No, it's
No, not
a
at
myth
all.
from what I hear.
Yeah, it is. It's
It's
a,
a myth,
We
like
also
the
have-
Loch Ness Monster in North Dakota.
yeah.
We also have some great impressions coming up. Do you like your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks, Dr. Stone Copcraft?
I've heard great things about that one.
Which one?
The mom.
Oh yeah, it's so great.
Mommy.
I can't wait.
Mama.
We also have Fire Force and Given.
Yeah.
What are these? The stuff in?
I went
theaters?
and watched Kiki's Delivery Service in theaters.
I bet that's so
My
great.
dude,
Yeah,
how
oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, on the 29th
were
I
also
went and saw
at-
it.
We were also at the movie theaters this weekend. I saw the Gyp. I'm kind of sad we didn't go see it.
Listen, people, I know a lot of you guys haven't seen the Ghibli movies because, oh my god, Kiki's Delivery Service, 30 years old, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. These movies are so... I'm just going to make a broad sweeping statement
Charming.
here. They're so much better than 99% of what you ever watch in anime that it's almost insulting to compare Kiki's Delivery Service to like
That's
most movies.
an opinion.
It is fine.
Opinion.
It's an opinion, but I'm just saying that these movies are in theaters, so you have no excuse not to watch them.
Put some
Because
respect on the name, you know what I'm saying?
Totoro is coming to theaters on August 25th, 26th, and 28th. In September, they're doing Addicts. In October, they're doing Spirited Away. In November, they're doing Princess friggin' Mononoke. And in December, they're doing The Tale of
Oh, I
Princess
love that.
Kaguya. And
Kaguya's dope.
listen to me, Studio Ghibli is god tier for a good reason. And I'm just gonna assume a lot of people haven't seen the Ghibli movies. We've done polls. I know it's true. They're in theaters, and they're not, and it's not like they're in a couple theaters either. It is in a theater near you. I guarantee it. You should go watch it. And another PSA, Millennium Actress. They also do a Satoshi Kon movie every year. Millennium Actress is coming to
I'd like
theaters on
I'd like
August
to see that.
13th and August 19th only. So
I am going to go see that for sure.
Me
I'm
too.
I'm going to buy the
My
ticket right now.
favorite
actually.
Satoshi Kon.
Mhm,
Yeah,
it's a
that
good
movie's
one.
amazing.
another damn masterpiece of a movie. So
Is that one still impossible to find on Blu-ray, or is that one like you can buy that easily?
well, I'm not sure about that, but the pretty damn good movie. And
Yeah.
and these movies, they do look good on the big screen. They're meant for the big screen, and I recommend it highly. Get out there, educate yourself on some Ghibli and on some Satoshi Kon by seeing these movies in theaters. You won't regret it, guaranteed. So, and besides, My Neighbor Totoro's next, and Totoro is kind of like, I mean, it kind of started it all. You know what I mean? In a way. So, yeah, go do it. All right, that's my PSA.
Does anybody have anything else before we jump into big news?
Nope.
Nah, let's do
I'm
it.
gonna take that as a no.
Let's go.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
This big news of the week is Monster, JoJo's, and more creators will be drawing the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics posters.
Yes.
JoJo's creator, Hirohiko, Araki and Monsters creator Naoki Urasawa are just 2 of the 18 artists that will be working on the 2020 Olympic and Paralympic posters. Urasawa will be creating a poster highlight for the Olympic Games, while Araki will be providing artwork for the Paralympic Games. And the Tokyo 2020 official art poster project is bringing together a bunch of artists, domestic and international. And the full roster, which you can find if you go to, I think there's an article in Anime News Network. I'm going to go check that out. It has a full roster of everyone who's going to be there. But it's a bunch of talented artists and graphic designers from all sorts of areas, from both anime and outside of anime. And yeah, Araki previously drew the poster for the 2016 National Disabled Person Arts Festival.
So
right.
It's not a spoiler, but one of the very prevalent characters in one of the upcoming, as in not yet adapted to anime, JoJo parts is paralyzed from the waist down. So he definitely has an interesting expertise in that. Yeah, one of the characters in JoJo.
I mean,
is
the poster
paralyzed.
that we have.
Oh, no, I don't think it's been announced yet. If it will be that character or not.
Okay, I'll put up the picture. Oh nope, I didn't save it. I got to do that before I can put it in our live stream notes.
Man,
I'll put up a picture there.
You just couldn't have had a better country to make cool promo art than Japan. I mean,
I know, right? Like,
it's like you got
slay that shit.
You got a million of these famous artists. They all have they all have their own art styles. Like you can totally tell, just from looking at the poster, that it's Araki. I mean, it's pretty clear. And it's just, you have this plethora of famous artists and comic book artists and creators that are just so willing to help out, just because they're so proud of their own country. And it's cool to see all the artwork. I'm really enjoying looking at all of it. This one looks really cool. Track and field, I think. So, interesting.
I also just love JoJo artwork, so it'd be really stylish.
It's so good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to go to that 2020 Olympics. We'll see if that happens. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
But yeah, so up next we have Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner. Are you ready? It's been a long time.
Yes, I'm so happy to do it again.
So many people they're desperately seeking your attention. Enzo.
Have you guys done it the last 2 episodes?
No, we didn't.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it without the Enzy.
It's you. They don't want our attention. They need your attention.
おめでとうございます。Join us in Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
Yay!
I love doing this. Welcome to this is Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, where you guys can just write in to me and I will read the thing you wrote, which is an accomplishment, something you're working towards, or something you're just very proud of that you've done. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to celebrate you.
Yeah.
You guys are our lifeline. Celebrating you. So this one comes in from Chris. Very unique name.
That's right.
And they say...
He's like, hey, now, that's my name.
Hey, I got that in birth, mister. That was my first birthday present. And I
So, I roast out of love. Everyone that knows me knows this. But Chris says, so this year started well. Got an excellent yearly review at my job and won 2 awards at said job last year.
Damn.
So job-wise, doing really well. But today I took my youngest daughter, who is 10 months, to Costco for the first time. And I think that's pretty awesome for some reason.
Sure, why not?
Here's the thing, though. I will say, when I was younger and I was a kid, I loved few things more than being taken to giant stores, because it's like my imagination would just go crazy. Like being taken to like IKEA when I was like 12 was like the shit, because it was like so many like sets to like imagine shit in. So I get it. I get Chris. I get you. You're the best. Keep being a good father to your daughter, or Chris could be a girl name too. So keep being a good parent to your daughter, and make sure that when she listens to podcasts for the first time, you know what to queue up. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Thanks for writing in. If you guys want to write in, go to the website AAAPodcast.com, and at the top you'll see a button that says mailbags and more, and then you'll be presented with an option to write into Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, which I love. I love this segment so much. I miss it every time I don't do the podcast. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
I just want to say that I grew up in epically redneck West Virginia. There were no Costco's. We barely had a mall anywhere. My Costco was going out in the woods and shaving the bark off trees and making my own furniture. 3 years old with an axe out in the woods, chopping down lumber, making myself some play toys.
Lumberjacks.
Oh, yeah.
Lumberjack
And,
knits.
and I'll tell you what, 3 years old or not, if you don't think that chopping down trees and shaving the bark off, making your own little wooden toys with its little wheels, if you don't think that'll put a beard on a 3-year-old, you're damn wrong.
You're damn wrong, dude.
But you had to share that.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
moving swiftly along. We
Very
have-
swift. Very swift.
Very swift. We have some great hot new anime releases. Really funny. Upcoming, we have My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. It is a light novel and manga series, romantic comedy. It's getting a release in 2020. The staff and studio have not been announced yet, but there has recently been an explosion of isekai manga that feature female leads being sucked into their favorite otome games. And this is the first one of those to get an adaptation.
Sounds like
And
a
the plot
porno.
goes... Does it?
Yeah.
Which one?
Just, I don't know,
What?
girls being sucked into their favorite
Getting
otome
sucked
games.
into your
Oh,
otome
yeah.
game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is not a portal, but
It could be.
the plot goes, after hitting her head particularly hard with Duke Clay's daughter, Katarina, suddenly recalls all the memories of her past life, that of a teenage Japanese girl. Just before her untimely death, this girl recalls playing an otome game. That is exactly like the world that she is currently living in. She is now Katarina Clays, the antagonist of the otome game, who nastily hounded the protagonist until the end. Knowing all the possible outcomes of the game, she realizes that every single possible route ends with Katarina being murdered or exiled. In order to avoid these catastrophic bad ends, she has to use her knowledge of the game in her own wiles, starting with breaking off the engagement with the prince. Will Katarina survive while making her way through the world, where every bad flag trips at every turn? So, it's funny, because my manga minute that I'm doing today has a very similar plot to this. It's funny, because
That's so weird.
a while ago, I mentioned, to my friends, to a couple of the other ladies in our Otome Discord group, I said, have you read this manga, the one that I'm doing for my manga minute? And somebody else said, oh yeah, but they were talking about this manga. That's how
That's
closely related
ridiculous.
they are. It's really funny. We didn't find out till much later that we were about completely different manga. But up next we have Hatage Kemonomichi. This is an anime adaptation of a comedy manga, and I don't have the English. What do you think the English title would be? Would Mason know?
Kemonomichi. Yeah, Mason, translate.
I do
I'd
not
like to see
know.
the kanji for that. Let me pull that up.
Real-time translations.
Hatage Kemonomichi, if I stumbled through it the first time. Just make it clear. This is an anime adaptation comedy manga. It'll be featuring... it'll be directed by Kazuya Miura, who hasn't really directed anything previously, just key animator stuff. It was originally created by 3 different people: Mosuke Mataku, who worked on Bakken Test, Natsume Akatsuki, who worked on Konosuba, and Yumeuta, who worked on Bakken Test. I'm so sorry if I butchered your names. But the synopsis goes, masked wrestler Genzo Shibata likes all kinds of animals and creatures. He sounds like me so far. I am a man. One day he is summoned to another world where a princess asks him to help kill magical beasts. But he gets mad and puts her in a German suplex.
What?
Instead, he begins life as a pet shop owner in another world.
I don't know what I don't know what Hatage means, but Kemonomichi just means like animal street.
Animal
Yeah.
people?
Well,
Oh.
Michi is like road. Kimono, like if you've seen Kimono Zume, like that's like animal. So it's like animal road, and like Hatage is like raising like a flat. Like it's got the kanji for like national flag and to raise. So it's like raising an army or raising a business or of animal stuff. So I'm guessing it's
The pet shop owner.
pet
yeah,
shop.
opening a pet shop.
With abs.
What is this other one that you mentioned, Mitz?
Yeah, well, Mappa has said that they're going to be doing the 2nd season of Grand Blue Fantasy, which is a pretty big deal because I know a lot of people watched the first Grand Blue
Yeah,
Fantasy.
it was actually fun.
Yeah, it was one of the highest watched shows of the season that it came out in, which was, it looks like, spring of 2017, and this is going to be coming out pretty soon. It's going to start on October 4th, so you're not going to have to wait very long. And it's got some staff from Banana Fish behind it, so yeah. So more Grand Blue Fantasy. So I know that people are probably excited about that. Grand Blue Fantasy. If
Grand
you had
Blue's a game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's based on a game. For those of you that missed that first one, it's about a world where the islands the sky is full of islands, and a boy named Gran and a talking winged lizard named Wyern lives in a city, an island which yields mysteries. One day they come across a girl named Lyria. Lyria has escaped from an empire, a military government that is trying to rule over the world using powerful military prowess. And in order to escape from the empire, Gran and Lyria head out into the vast skies holding the letter Gran's father left behind, which says that I will be waiting at Esta Lucia, the island of stars. So it's a fantasy show, and I just know a ton of people watched it. So it's pretty big deal. I think it was a Sega property. And I'm putting my neck out there by saying that, but I think it was a Sega game. I'll look that up just to make sure.
I think I always got it mixed up with the Tales games. Is it by the same people?
I am going to look that up right now. Tales is Namco Bandai.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. But I thought it was a Sega game, but I could totally be wrong. Yeah.
Who wants to do the
so I
trivia?
misheard it at that.
Sorry.
First, I thought this was the next season of Grand Blue. Just not Grand Blue Fantasy, the diving one in college. And I'm like, this isn't anything like it.
No.
You guys are completely wrong.
What a sequel, let me tell you.
I guess Grand Blue Fantasies is Psy Games. So the same people that did the whatever the heck that
horse Uma Musume, Horse Girl.
They've done a lot of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, they're putting a lot of money into anime lately. All right. Lots of new stuff coming out. So
Trivia. Who would like to do that?
Allow me, please.
Go.
I allow you. I insist.
Please allow me.
You're allowed.
I need to make up for everything I've done. Okay, so as you guys know, on the website, AAAPodcast.com, you can scroll to the bottom, and then you will see a question that we ask you guys every week. This last week's question, I forgot what it was, but the winner was Golden Jedi Link with the answer Orphan.
The bloody
the next
August.
theme we're going to be focusing on the current theme, I suppose, is anime dragons. So if you want to keep in touch with that, just visit the website after this episode's done. You'll see the new question up there. Answer it. You'll win fantastical prizes.
Aren't they making another season of Orphan?
They are. Well, it's not a new. They're remaking it.
Okay, because the first season of Orphan is pretty good. The second season of Orphan is horrendous. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, absolutely one of the most tragic just divestitures of quality you've ever seen. I mean, it literally went from.
Does it match up in quality to the video game?
The video game. Oh, holy shit! Is so friggin' bad.
That sounds so sad.
No, I would say that the first season of Orphan is a 7 out of 10, and then the second season of Orphan is probably a 2. It's pretty good.
So worse than a Psychopath.
Yeah. Yes.
Situation.
I think so. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Big oops, my dude.
Except that I don't think Orphan wasn't nearly as big as those other titles though. But I just hope it gets back, because Orphan's a cool character. He is. So I hope they get back to the good stuff, and and leave all that bad shit behind. So okay.
All right, so now that we've asked you the website question, we got an in-show weekly trivia question for you that you can contemplate while we go on break. This question is, I just saw Kiki's Delivery Service in theaters. This year marks the what anniversary of the creation of the film? If you're very savvy, Mitsuki spoiled that earlier in the episode. But ponder that. We'll be right back with the podcast Reviews, baby. See you soon.
Hey everybody, Mitsuki's here, and I'm bringing you your first dose of anime news. Leading us off, it looks like Gintama's 77th and final volume of the manga announced that they're going to be having a third film in the Gintama series. It looks like information about the release date and the content and subject matter of the film are going to be released at a different time. However, get excited that even though the Gintama manga has concluded with its 77th and final volume, there's going to be a third Gintama film coming out. Next up, it looks like Studio Kyoto has announced that it's going to be producing a Shin Ultraman, or in English, New Ultraman, film that's going to be releasing in 2021. For those of you that are fans of that property, get excited because the Shin Godzilla director Shinji Higuchi and his team are going to be working on the project primarily. And Evangelion creator Hideaki Anno is in charge of planning and scripts. And it looks like Anno has already actually proposed a draft of the script, which he completed back on February 5th. So if you're a big fan of Ultraman, look forward to Studio Kyoto and some pretty big names working on that property for 2021. Next up, in some politics news, President Trump has told Prime Minister Abe that he will continue to accept short-range ballistic missile launches. It looks like the reason for this is that the administration wants to keep North Korea engaged in negotiations and prevent Washington's talks with Pyongyang from collapsing. So even though North Korea has launched now three missiles in just over a week towards Japan. So, however, Trump has told the White House reporters that he thinks that it's very much under control. So we'll have to keep monitoring the situation, although things are very tense and lots of people in Tokyo are very concerned about the activities of North Korea. Next up, and lastly, Gundam Build Divers Rise, an ONA, is going to be coming out in October. Yet another anime with a in the title, I see. It looks like the series is going to stream on YouTube, Sunrise's new Gundam channel, and the story is set 2 years after the events of Gundam Build Divers, where a new version of the Gunpla Battle Nexus Online game launches, and the story centers on 4 divers who participate with completely different playstyles and levels. Hiroto is a lone diver, Kazami is a diver that plays in different parties, Mei is a diver who plays the game all day, and Parviz is a shy beginner with the determination to be in the party with other players. So the 4 are going to band together to form a team, it looks like, with the director of the property being Shinya Watada, who was the director of Gundam Build Divers. So if you're a fan of that property, look forward to Gundam Build Divers and ONA coming out on the Sunrise YouTube channel for Gundam. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast.
Mandy, I've got a great idea.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, now, hear me out. What if we did additional episodes? I'm talking hobby addicts, after parties, maybe even hentai episodes, if you're nasty.
Well, I mean, we already do all of those.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, we've been doing that for like years.
How did I not know about this?
You've been in like a ton of those episodes.
Come on, Mandel.
My name is Mandy.
Okay, Medward. You know I don't pay attention to things like that.
Like yourself speaking?
Huh? Well, I'm glad now we're making millions off these extra episodes.
Actually, they're only like a couple bucks a month.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you go to AAAPodcast.com/join, you can sign up to get access to all of our extra podcast goodness for just a few bucks a month.
Whoa, that is a steal. All right, so where do I go to sign up?
I just told you. AAAPodcast.com/join. And besides, you're in those episodes.
Huh?
Just go to AAAPodcast.com/join already.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。
He's not gonna turn down the music for you.
Oh
We
no,
can
he's
find
just,
him
he's,
now.
just letting it happen.
It's just too good.
Here at the AA podcast, we have top tier production value where you can see that we know how to mix our volume so well.
Yeah.
So well. Anyway, the question we asked before the break was, I just saw Kiki's Delivery Service in theaters. This marks what anniversary of the creation of the film? Mandy?
Oh, the answer is
what is
30.
Oh, 30.
30 big old years.
That's still not older than me.
No, it's oh.
Oh my god, give me that 80s synth.
Jam, dude.
People in the Discord constantly are asking, oh, where's this music from? Where can I find this? We're just giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
There you go. Here, you want a whole
We
minute of that
just-
music? Let's get it.
We'll start up a side podcast where we won't talk and just give you our music. That's
Yeah.
probably what they want anyway.
People probably would prefer that.
Honestly, that's probably what they want. Man,
Shut-
me
just-
yelling out,
Just shut your
And me
cake
yelling
hole
out.
and
Yeah.
play the music.
and me yelling at them to like get the choreo down.
It
My
gets people
cake?
going.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I would love some cake. I haven't had cake
I
in
would
forever.
love cake.
My lovely girlfriend made me cupcakes yesterday because it was my birthday. What?
So
Do
Happy
you guys know the
birthday,
proper way to eat cupcakes?
Can we
Okay,
sing
wait,
happy
hold
birthday?
on.
No,
Oh,
no, please,
can we
God.
please-
No,
Mason,
you
can you
don't.
sing
For
happy
the
birthday?
love of God, no. Oh my
Mason,
Let's
God.
do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do
Mason.
it because
Oh
it'll embarrass
my
him. That's what I
God.
want.
Oh
Okay,
my
ready?
God.
Okay,
But it's
this
gonna be
is-
funny because all of us. Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Jesus.
birthday. Happy birthday.
It'll be hilarious because you guys are never gonna sing in sync on this
No.
recording.
Nope.
So
Nope.
good.
I'll
You
do
just,
I'll
you
do
know what?
One line at a time.
You know what? You just try, and I'll be here.
Oh, we won't be in sync because we all
He
have
would
different
just
delays.
smite us and just like change all our audio levels and like
Mhm.
add
Oh yeah.
auto tunes and make it sound
Oh
horrible.
yeah. Oh
here's,
yeah.
Here's what I will say. Mitsuki has an archive of all of us saying dumb shit all the time.
Oh yeah. Hundreds
Do
of
we just-
hours.
And then he turns us into drops
Yeah, well that's true. I
about
guess we-
shitting on people's faces.
yeah,
I'm gonna shit on
about-
your face.
Yeah,
I will shit on your
I-
face.
I thought-
Yeah, but I already ate this shit burger.
yeah, shit
They're
burger.
all shit related.
They're all shit related.
It literally is the shit.
I mean, what I will say. what I-
Diagnose my fetish, Kazuo. Fuck! Stop.
Senpai.
Oh my god, Senpai, please stop.
I don't even know what's real anymore.
All right. All right.
even know
All
if
right,
it's us or
Mandy.
the
All
drops.
right. All
exactly,
right.
exactly.
All right.
I'm ready for my manga minute.
Are you ready?
Are you ready for your close up?
Yes.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
This is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and find something new to read. And this one is called The Accomplishment of the Duke's Daughter. After a young woman gets hit by a car, she wakes up in her favorite dating sim as Iris, the villain of the game. Iris decided that rather than chase after the prince, she'll go down a different route, revolutionize society, and save her father's failing fiefdom. Now it's only Iris's happy ending at stake, or gosh, I messed that up. Now it's not only Iris's happy ending at stake, but the whole country. Whew, coffee. Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter is a fantasy manga written by Rhea and illustrated by Suki Umemiya. It is still currently publishing with 6 volumes in Japanese and 3 available in English. The manga is also an adaptation of a light novel series by the same name. During this current isekai trend, we haven't seen a large amount of female leads in terms of anime. But however, in the manga world, we are seeing a giant increase of stories featuring female leads and otome games. Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter stood out to me due to the direction the manga takes. As one would assume that if a woman is being sucked into their favorite otome game, she'd probably pursue the main love interest. But Iris decides to take things in a completely different direction and try to start up her own business and better the lives of everyone in her father's domain. Iris is reconfiguring the tax system, boosting the economy, introducing the world of chocolate and how she could use that to profit, and also creating schools, loans, and orphanages for homeless children. So if you're expecting romance, that, from what I've read, it doesn't show up at all in the first 3 volumes. All of the Otome Games pretty boys are still in the world, but they're very minor characters for Iris to outshine. The manga is a more watered-down version of the light novel, so things do feel like they progress at a very rapid pace. Iris feels like she completely forgot that this was an Otome game to begin with, so it's a bit jarring. But if you're interested in a different kind of isekai than what you're usually used to, you can check this out. The light novel does not have an official English translation yet, but hopefully we'll see one in the future. Man, my mouth exercises during our break didn't help at all. I was like, I'm gonna stretch my mouth and hopefully I won't fuck up as much. Wrong. It's my brain's fault, not my mouth.
I really like the character designs in the photo you posted.
Thank
Yeah, they're
you.
cool.
Yeah,
they really
I've
appeal
read
to
the
me.
first 3 volumes, but I think this one though it would not do very well as an anime adaptation. I think the other one was better to adapt because this one is like all business, really. I can't. I feel like if they translate it into anime, there's not much to animate. So it does very well as a manga.
But the taxes. It's what
But
the
the
people want.
taxes, yeah, that's what the people want, and more tax.
Do you guys see that video of that kid playing Monopoly?
Oh, who's just bawling his eyes out.
Oh,
He's crying
yeah.
about having to pay taxes in Monopoly. Oh my god, I
Life,
died.
man.
I died. It was great.
Mhm.
All right, so what is this Mason's Weekly Waifu?
Well, you're about to find out. So I've been procrastinating on the details of my magnum opus segment in favor of remedying an anime talking point that has been much neglected on this podcast, the waifu. That's right, folks.
Ha!
Each week until the end of this year, I'll be going over some of my favorite female characters, with perhaps a twist every now and then, what makes them so good, and using that as a springboard to recommend the perhaps underwatched shows in which they exist. So for August, the theme is going to be raven hair maidens. That is to say, waifus who possess black hair. But I'm also using this as like a sort of self-introduction, as I relate strongly to all the characters that I'm going to be talking about over this in the next 3 weeks. So the first waifu I want to bring to the battlefield, I guess, is the.
Can you play the drop?
Which drop? Which drop do you want me to play?
Play the
Oh, for the waifu
you know,
wars.
the war. There we go. That is a live recording of our waifu.
Waifu wars that are soon to be fleshed out. The first waifu is Kino from 2003's Kino no Kabi, or Kino's Journey.
Hey girl, you're looking so fine.
AKA, this show is actually Kino. So briefly, if you haven't seen it, Kino Journey is about our main character who travels through different countries to experience their customs and understand their histories, but she never stays longer than a couple days, so she avoids like settling down or forming too much of a connection. She does so with her talking motorhead. I can't even talk, but her motorcycle can, Hermes, with whom she discusses the philosophy of the places they encounter, and forms a partnership with Kino in the form of literal and figurative balance and support. This is a very slow, contemplative show, similar to Mushishi, Habane Renmei, and Girls' Last Tour. Most importantly, what makes Kino a good waifu? First of all, happy birthday, Mitz, happy birthday, Mitz, happy birthday to you.
Damn
okay,
right.
There we go. Got it in there.
We got it out of the way. You snuck that in there. It's great.
So obviously, she has a great character design. You'll soon learn that short hair is besto.
Nope.
She is
False.
honest, composed, loyal to herself and her principles of non-intervention. Though she possesses empathy and care towards others when she can't afford to do so. But she's got this like secretive mysteriousness that shrouds what she presents to the world in a realistic way that presents a deep and enriching character. Everything she owns, her belongings, are simple, efficient, and iconic. She's got this flowing coat to store items and conceal her belongings, this adorable hunting cap with riding goggles, her markswoman collection of firearms, with which she is brutally competent, to the motorcycle himself, Hermes, which is like a Superior SS100, which is like the super rare motorcycle that's like an icon of engineering. Like she's tidy, she strives to maintain order and maintain her physical capabilities. But she's like still moe at the same time because she's got the sweet tooth, which prompts like a slice of cake or like stopping at a dessert shop to give us like precious moments of bliss. She's just so great and understanding. If I could live my life, go ahead.
Dare you?
Oh my goodness!
How dare you?
My life
even mention the word moe in this establishment?
I mean, it's just low key enough. It's just subtle enough that you're like, my heart melts.
He didn't say moe. He said no way.
Oh, I heard. I heard what he said. Okay.
She's not moe designed. She's not moe like infused. She's just got that little sweet tooth that just is perfect.
Yeah, I hope she gets tons of cavities.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, if I could live my life like any character, I would choose to template myself after Kino. Like, if you've ever heard my travel stories, I just love wandering the streets of where I visit, like soaking myself in the culture and surroundings as I move through an environment. Like, I watch and I consume the local flavors, and like often a solitary traveler, there's something very untethering about just ending up where your feet guide you, as if free-falling with the crowd and traffic to your next unexpected destination, observing all that happens as simultaneously a participant in humanity, but detached from emotional proximity. And she just embodies that like travel aesthetic so well, and she's measurably better than almost any character that's come out recently. That she's just she's just a top tier classic waifu that I recommend watching the show on. So if you do plan watching it, go ahead.
I never mind. You go ahead. Mine isn't.
I just was gonna say if you do plan on watching this, there is like an alternative series, which is entitled similarly, but with a suffix the animated series, which is like a 2017 version done by, I believe, Studio Lerche. It's fine, but it's nowhere near as good as the original, and it contains some duplicate episodes. So watch the original one by Studio ACGT. The visuals, voice acting, and aesthetics are a little blocky, but they hold up very well and have a charm in the dichotomy between like the pastel, soft colors and like the real dark philosophical themes.
I really love and appreciate that you did this, but I am very offended because you told me you were going to do my wife first, and then you lied and took it away.
I did lie because the theme for next month is way better fitting for.
Oh, okay.
And
is it women that can kick your ass?
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Do not allow him to suck you into this so-called Kino's journey, aka a path down the road of pestilence and misery. Okay, you will find nothing at the end of the Moe road other than your own destruction.
Well,
so
won't all be Moe.
So saith the Pope.
Kino is certainly not. If you've
now
ever
you
dealt with her pistols, you would be very quick to change your opinion. Also, I'm seeing some people say that her hair is not black, but it actually is in the original work. So it's good enough that I'm counting it.
I'm gonna have to tell you that if you think that the Pope of the Church of Mitsugi is so easily gonna be swayed into your Moe filth harem plot line, okay?
Moe filth harem.
It isn't gonna happen the way that you foretold in your dreams, okay?
They take showers. We bathe each other.
On the road that is Moe, there are many pitfalls, and they are all dug by the acolytes of the Church of Mitsugi. May you fall forever into the eternal pits of hell. Amen. For there is no bottom. Your screams shall only be heard for all eternity, echoing forth from the blackness that is the abyss of your own despair. So saith the Pope.
Preach. Preach.
So we have a topic.
We do. Let's get to that.
So, in honor of this awful heat wave, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we over here in the Midwest had a heat wave, and gosh, it got up to like over 100 degrees. But we've all been complaining about it, so we decided let's do worse climates in anime. That'll be fun. We'll talk about anime that seem just horrible to live in.
Well, I'm living in Colorado, so it's not so hot right now. All right, temperature check. You want to play this game? Temperature check.
Temperature check.
Currently,
I'm
the
sitting at about 90 in Connecticut.
New York's not that hot today. Let's see here.
Yeah, today's okay. I mean, considering we're at 88 degrees.
82,
Fahrenheit.
82 in Colorado.
So it's not too bad. Not, I mean, compared to what it has been.
New York is at a nice 73 with light rain.
Damn!
I love it.
Nice.
Wow, you're spoiled.
Spoiling me. This is my perfect
Living the
weather.
dream.
Living the
Light
dream.
rain.
Light rain, 70-degree weather, baby. That's the aesthetic.
All right, so yeah, there are some. We've all been living in it's been hot here in Colorado too. To be honest with you, for Colorado at least, I don't even want to know what it's been like in Florida.
Oh, I was gonna say, what is it?
I don't want to. You want me to look? Do I dare?
I can look on my phone while you're going.
All right. So this topic is going to be highlighting some of the more miserable climates and like environments that in which anime take place. So I think for the most part we tried to stick to like just bad climates, not necessarily like natural disasters or anything like that. But I'm going to start off with.
I did. I'm sorry.
Oh well, that's okay. I'm going to start off with
It's
an
89 degrees.
Okay. I'm going to start off with an anime that I've mentioned a few times, and that's the Le Mason and Petite Cubes. Not because it's hot in that anime, and by the way, this is that like 6-minute anime that I told you that won the Oscar for Best Animated Short.
Yeah, it's like 12 minutes, and it's the only other animated thing besides Spirited Away to ever win an Oscar.
Yeah, and it's freaking great. And in this anime, the whole world is covered with water. Like, there's no land left. It's just been totally... It's like, let's fast forward, 500 years through our fake global warming existence, and this is what the world's going to look like when all the ice caps melt and, like, the water level rises by, like, 300 feet and we're all underwater. This is what the world would look like. And it's just this guy that just keeps, his answer to the rising water is just to keep building more floors onto his, like, house. So his house has, like, 1,000 floors on it. And it's just like, what a shitty life, You're like a prisoner in this house that's basically just a one-room house that's got 1 million floors with these hatches in the ceiling that he can, like, swim up through. And damn, like, he's a prisoner there.
This is
And
a little short. I've seen.
Yeah, your livelihood is just like constantly building upwards and then moving all your belongings up into a slightly smaller room so it can keep on standing. And that's it. That's all you have to look forward to.
And make no mistake,
Great.
this
It's so
anime,
good.
this anime is great. It's
I think it's only like 20 minutes, or no, it's not even
12.
that.
Even,
It's like
not even.
12, yeah.
I mean, for what it's doing and for its length, I would personally say it's a masterpiece. Because it's just the message it's delivering is just so simple. But it's a beautiful anime, and everybody should watch Le Mason and Petite Cubes. And if for nothing else, then for the terrible environment that
And he fishes through a hole in his floor.
Yeah.
and he smokes a pipe
And he does.
that he loses, and that's the whole point. Okay.
So to make it easier to look up, just look up House of Small Cubes.
Yep.
Or Tsumiki no Ie.
Yeah, this is some good shit, people. This is really good. You might even cry watching this. It's
The flood, both from the environment, the climate, and your tears.
and
Really,
your emotions will flood forth.
exactly.
Look at that. All right, now that I've warmed you up with that, let's see what else we got going on here.
My first one is a shit post. I said garden words because it's 45 minutes of just rain.
And foot fetishes.
And the natural
appreciate
disaster
it.
fetish. Yes.
Yep.
They were not clean feet. They were very dirty.
They were quite dirty feet.
I could smell them through
Some
my
people
screen.
are into that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Dirty feet?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Then the New York Jets head coach.
Oh yep. The Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. Apparently, Makoto Shinkai.
Oh well. Anyway, what was your first? Do you want to go? Do you want to give your actual first one?
My actual first one, Yona of the Dawn or Akaki no. There's a major section of the story centered around the really horrible living conditions in one village, and that village is suffering through it's just a wasteland of drought and diseases, and the manga goes so much farther than the anime does. So in the manga, there's a great deal where like great deal of it has like Yona or band going, like trying to help people in this area and trying to find crops that these people can grow because they can't even grow food. The climate is so horrific. So that's the first one that came up in my mind. I could be wrong. I think it's Kingdom of Saika. I could be wrong about the name of the kingdom, but yeah, that's it. It's really awful.
Gotcha.
I watched a fair amount of Katsuki no Yona, but I stopped watching it when it turned into the 2-episode story arc Pretty Boy Festival, like around the episode 17 or so, I think it happened, where it's just like, Pretty Boy comes in. Now we've spent 3 episodes of mindlessness.
Which one?
Well, I mean, there was like the pretty guy who wore the mask, you know, and he was.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know. I didn't get through all of them. I gave up. I was like, I can't watch this. It's not for me.
I think it's fantastic. It's a really good manga as well.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
There's great deal amounts of political politics going on in it, and there's a great deal of war as well. And I've really enjoyed the manga a lot. I'm still continuing it too. I'm up to book 18. It's a really long series. I highly recommend it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It is pretty good, and I think for the right person, it's excellent. Oh boy, here comes Mason coming in with his hot takes.
So yes, literally. So I ordered my list from like
Literally.
the least bad to like the worst climate ever. So this first grouping was just places that generally seem really warm and sweaty and gross. So that includes Gina Village from Gurren Lagann.
Yep, I'm with you there.
Diamandra, which is like the South American inspired setting of like Michiko and Hachin.
Amazing show.
JoJo Part 6 takes place in Florida.
Of course
so
it does.
You know how that is.
Yeah, you're
also
at
part 2 is also in a desert.
Well,
Listen.
Part 3 is in.
Oh, sorry, 3, not 2.
3 is
Sorry.
in Egypt.
Listen,
I've heard that's hot.
I got to tell you
No,
that
I've heard it's hot.
you haven't experienced misery until you've walked outside in Florida summer in dress clothes for for more than at least 3 seconds, because your underwear is immediately an ocean of your own filth. Oh my god, dude! It is go to the bathroom and wring out your shorts worthy of heat.
Ugh,
it is suffering, and then you get to sit in that all day. That's what it's like living in
There's more
Florida.
than that in life.
Oh, you do.
See,
People who live
problem is
people who live in Florida
you
are
need to
insane.
have the JoJo outfits that aerate you with all the holes and openings.
See, the trick is to be half naked like the JoJo guys. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And listen, I don't want to talk too much shit on people who live in Florida because I was there for 14 years. But if you live in Florida, you are out of your friggin' mind, and that includes me for the last 14 years. It is too damn hot in Florida.
He's just playing Amazing Grace in his mind because he once was lost, but now he's found.
Now
Yes,
he's
I am.
found.
And you're going to be found too, Mason, when you hike to the top of the tallest peak in Colorado with me at the end of the month. You're going to be like, damn, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. That's what you're
I
gonna
would say that my body is ready, but it's not. So I need a couple more weeks of training, but I'll get there.
Yeah, get one of those oxygen masks that make you look like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Looks like Bane.
That's the only way you're going to be able to train for this. But you're going to be fine.
All right, Mason, you went off on this fucking topic, bro.
I did.
You did.
But
Dude,
that's enough for like the. I also
love
added
to
like
see it.
Trigun on there. That was also kind of a gross place. But that was like the
100%.
first
I had that one as
stab,
well.
Yeah, I
first
had
stab
Trigun,
into
too.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Trigun, what's that?
What?
Well, it came out before 2009, so I haven't seen it.
He's shit posting.
Stop live
what's a
shit posting,
what's a
goddammit.
triple gun?
What's a triple gun? Does he
Well,
have 3 guns?
What's a double dollar? Is that like $2?
Wow. Deep. That's deep.
That's
deep.
oh yeah.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
may I go, Mason?
Yes, you may.
Oh,
I
jeez,
allow.
So Mason, between you and Man, you guys covered a lot of the ones I thought. I thought of Claymore as well.
Yeah, steal
But,
anything you want.
Oh, I shouldn't have spoiled that. Oops.
You're stealing mine?
No, I did
Hang
not.
on.
No, I'm not. I'm not stealing yours. I just.
I worked hard on mine.
I forget that you did. I forgot you didn't say that yet. But my one that I want to mention is I always struggle saying Gargantia on the Verdurious planet.
Yep.
Verdurous planet. Have you guys seen this one?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So I think it's one of the first ones I saw for the podcast, or maybe beforehand. I forget.
This is one of those anime where
No,
the
there's
whole
no
the
way.
whole
There's no way.
the whole point of the show is the plot twist at the end.
Yeah, 100%. But the Earth is basically just fucked here, so that's bad climate. It's the entire Earth is like covered in ocean, because reasons, and people live on ships, and the main ship on this one's, I believe it's called Gargantua. Gargantua.
I believe you're
So,
right.
yeah. So no, the planet is called Gargantua.
I
and it's
believe
all
you're right
covered in
also.
water. Yeah. So that's why it's a bad, because I would be terrified. I'm not afraid of sailing or anything,
Have you?
but if it's my only place to be, I'm gonna be like, well, like my biggest fear is to drown. So it's like not it's not it, Chief. It's not it, Chief.
Have you seen the movie
So,
Waterworld with Kevin Costner?
yeah, yes, I have. Pretty
That's
sure.
a movie that gets a lot of shit, but I like that movie.
It's like whatever, dude.
It's a wild
Yeah,
ride.
that's my first pick. That's my first pick. Is Suisei no Gargantia in Japanese.
Interesting. Okay, I had forgotten all about that one, to be honest.
Mhm. It's not
Let's
that
see
great,
here. The 12 Kingdoms. I talk about this a
Yes,
lot.
dude.
12 Kingdoms is not a very nice place to live. I'll just say that. And mostly because many of the kingdoms suffer from just terrible natural disasters and famine. And sometimes the natural disasters cause famine because it destroys like all the crops, and then everyone's starving to death. And it's like if you watch this anime, save for the second arc, which is about Taiki, people are just suffering all the time. Like nothing is good. The land is just, if you look at the land, like generally speaking, when Yoko's like walking around, it resembles like a burned out forest, you know, like where there's a couple trees sticking up and they're all black and charred. Like the 12 kingdoms, like, and it's all determined by the rulers of the kingdom. If they're a good ruler, the land is usually good and people are happy and healthy and wealthy. But if it's a bad ruler, and there seem to be an awful lot of them, because the bad ruler is way more interesting than a good ruler for a story. It makes for good conflict. There's an awful lot of bad ones, and there's a lot of like just wow, I would never want to live here in that anime. And it's just, and not only will you starve to death, but like yokai will come and eat you. I mean, it's like the worst. It sucks. It sucks bad. Yoko should have died 100 times in that first book that author wrote, but she's immortal, so she can't die. But like, she literally should have died 100 times. There's scenes in that where she's like laying face down in a mud puddle, starving to death, while like animals chew on her. I mean, it's like ridiculous. It's about as bad as it gets. So, but the 12 Kingdoms is a damn good book series and a good anime. So recommend that very much. And there's another book coming out. It's very long, I'm told. Something like 800 pages or something crazy.
Ooh,
so
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna
They're
be
all
long.
massive.
Yeah,
They're like, God, Bible sized.
Yeah, the fourth book's like
huge.
the fourth book's like 650. So,
Yeah, it's very thick. It's taking
Yeah.
up a lot of space on my bookshelf.
All right.
My next one, I did have down Claymore, and it was like the area of Pieta. And Claymore, I guess for those who don't know or never heard of it, it was a Shonen Jump manga. It also has an anime. It's like 20 something episodes, 25 or 26. But that one's like about these demons that can turn into humans and they eat people, and then there are these like Yoma hunters that are all the ones that we meet are women, I think, if I remember correctly, and they are sort of like have Yoma inside of them. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but yeah. So they go to fight this war, and like it's actually, you know what? It kind of reminds me. Now that I was talking about it, kind of reminds me
Of what?
a tiny bit of like monster hunters that also have like like a part of them that's pretty much like a Yoba. That kind of reminds me of
okay.
Witcher. But yeah, they go to fight this war in the north, and those episodes, it's like towards the end of the series, just the whole area is covered in snow, blizzards, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember them talking a lot about like how cold it is as well. It was really awful. It's terrible. I don't know why anyone would live there. So I remember they were trying to defend like this, not a village, it was like a city there. So people were living there, but I think they had to evacuate them during that war. But yeah.
Damn.
Claymore was a show I never watched. I remember when I was in college, people were watching it a lot, and that was not to date myself, but that was back in like 2006 7 or
Yeah,
6.
it's been a long time. I remember man, now that I was talking about it, I could be completely wrong, remembering like incorrectly, but so much of it reminded me of The Witcher because I remember them having special eyes too that kind of look like weird. I think they called them witch eyes, but I can't remember. But I remember them looking sort of like cats.
Are you thinking?
Look,
Are you thinking
look
about?
with your special eyes?
Are you thinking
My
about? Are you thinking of Witchblade?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Witchblade. Fuck, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah. Sorry for my.
so
I'm
edgy.
I
I'm
erased
I'm
that shit from my memory.
I'm sorry to remind you of that.
I also remember like if they use up their powers so quickly, they turn into demons themselves. I remember a lot of them having to take down, like hunt down members of Order.
I can't wait to hear what Mason's next hot take is.
It's not a hot take.
Is it a
'cause
hot one?
I'm going cold.
Oh, ice
Cold
cold,
take.
baby.
So medium shout out to Girls Last Tour.
Oh, I thought about this one.
It's not like freezing cold, but it's a little uncomfortably cold. There's lots of snow, but it's okay because you get the wiggly white boys that are little
Mason?
aliens
You know,
or whatever.
Masons?
Yeah,
I just want
yeah.
you to know I want one so bad. I watched that only like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I
pretty
binged through
recently.
it, and I was like, I want one of these little guys
Mandy
so bad.
binging an anime? Fucking unheard of.
Wild.
Yeah, right.
But
Wild concept.
more so than the cold from Girls Last Tour or the cold from literal Antarctica with a place further than the universe
Oh, good one.
is the winter from Hoseki no Kuni.
Yes, I
Which-
recall.
There's like a couple episode arc where winter descends upon the planet and like these ice flows and like frigid winds just like constantly like come over the land and it's just like not habitable, so like there's not even enough sunlight for the gems that live there to like exist, and it forces them to just hibernate. Essentially any climate that's so bad where all you can do is just sleep, nothing else, that's kind of rough. So that was kind of like the cold end of the spectrum for climates that are just miserable.
Yeah, there aren't that many. I feel like there aren't that many cold. Well,
There
It's
are
pre-
always like scenes within a thing that's like, oh, we're unprepared and we're walking through the snow, but they don't usually last too long. I guess Vinland Saga
I was
has
just
a
thinking
little
that.
bit of that, but
I was
it's
just gonna say that. Yeah.
it's never like a persistent climate that I don't know.
You'll
Usually
freeze
just a
your
little
ass off in
touch of
Vinland
snow.
Saga.
Yeah. I know Katana Gatari had like one winter episode, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I thought about that one too. I have another one centered on winter.
All right, Enzy Penzy though.
Enzy Penzy.
What
Yeah,
you
so
got?
my
What you
next
got,
one-
boy?
I just think about Megalobox is my next one because
Oh.
aside from the city where like all the fancy shit is, like it's literally all like wasteland and like dry like climate outside of that. And every time Joe was in the wasteland like with his trainer or whatever, it just looked so hot. It looks so hot and it looks so dry, like the cracks in the rocks and everything. So I just think, and also like it goes hand in hand with how like I think Mason, you probably said Trigon for the same reason, right? Because Trigon's also
Yeah.
very like dry and like hot.
Did
And
we all have Trigon down?
I had Trigon down too, but
Me too. I had it down
went
as
to
like desert wasteland.
desert waste, exactly. Because when I think of Trigon, I think of him in his red coat walking through like a wasteland and like sand blowing through. So, but Bengal Box similarly, like obviously not as cool with the aesthetic of Vash Stampede, but also has a wasteland, and even more so, it's like it's just a shitty climate because everything that's nice is in this one city, and then everything else is just barren. So that's a Megalobox for me is my second pick.
Nice.
I didn't write this down, but Kamuri Kusa, which was a recent show that I was really intrigued by, but didn't really end up keeping up with because I didn't pass it. But it was that show of the like, holy shit, what was it even about? It had like it had Rin, Ritsu, and Rina, like the three little girls, and they were like in that. Did you guys watch that show? And like they were like in the completely post-apocalyptic wasteland, and they can control like colored leaves and shit.
Oh no, that doesn't even sound familiar.
No, yeah. I have
Came
no
out-
idea what you're talking
What is it?
It came out in Kamuri Kusa. I'll post a link. It came out in the winter of this last winter. And here is I'll post a link in the live stream. and
Yes.
it's you recognize it when you see it. I didn't pass it, but I was very intrigued by it. But that place is like horrible. There's no food. There's nothing.
Oh, that was the little short that's like 3D CG.
Yeah, it was 3D CG. It ended up being 12
Okay.
episodes, and it was a full length show. But man, like there's no food there. I feel like there's not even any sunlight. Like it's just everything's covered in like red mist. It's what a shit place to live that would be. Like wow, that's the worst I've ever seen. That place is like, I don't know. I mean that's as bad as it gets for real. If you've seen that anime, you know what I'm talking about. And you know all this hot weather, cold weather, whatever. You know, like this place is the worst. I mean it is bad. So you know these three little but the anime was just bizarre though. I didn't understand what was happening. And it was taking a little too long to get to it, so I had to let it go. I had to let it be free. So,
Continuing with like the winter theme, this isn't the whole anime. There was a couple of Ushishi that were very cold episodes. There was one about a boy who because of the mushi he's inflicted with, he can't feel cold, but like he still suffers from frostbites. So he's always out in this area, this village that is just, it was eternally locked in like when like there's winter every like year, like it doesn't like ever change, like it's just constantly snowing, and it just looked like a miserable experience.
it's a horrible place to live.
Yeah, when
Mushi
Mushishi does snow, you feel the cold in your bones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They do a really good job of showing like the like smoke that comes from like your breath. It's crazy. But and that would it's actually the Mushi was causing snow to fall on just the boy. So like everywhere he went, it was just constantly snowing on him.
So sad.
And then the episode after that, they continued to go with the snow theme, and there was like a mushi that was trapped this entire area in like an eternal winter, and Ginkgo gets trapped inside there and has to figure out how to get out of this area that's just locked in winter. It's just so cold. A couple episodes of just pure cold. I remember watching it during like winter, and I was like, "This is miserable." Great series. It's one of my favorites, but yeah. But I wouldn't want to live there.
Come on, not even for a day.
Not even for a day. No.
Wow. You liar.
I'm not a fan of cold weather or snow.
But you're a fan of little buggy guys, spirit bugs.
Yes, spirit bugs that don't hurt me. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
You know,
It seems
important they don't hurt you.
but it seems like most
if
of
they want to give me like crazy rainbows, yeah.
But it seems like most of the bugs in that and in Mushishi are bad. Like they're always hurting
Yes.
somebody.
Bugs are
I'm
bad
trying-
in general.
Okay.
Aside from bees do good things.
Unless they give you
I was
your
thinking the
eyeball
same
back.
thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Bees are good.
Even colder than cold, though, I wanted to give an honorable
Ice
mention
cold?
to all the anime that take place in space.
I really hope someone out there caught my reference there. Please.
Colder than cold?
Ice cold.
Ice
All right.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
No one?
Outcast?
Oh, Outcast.
Outcast, baby. There. It
I
is.
know what
Thank
you're talking
you,
about.
Thank
I
you,
chose
Mandy.
to ignore it.
Ugh. Go
Oh
on.
man, it's so
Rejected.
funny. Speaking of
Oh.
Outcast, an Outcast song came on. I think I tweeted about this. An Outcast came on. What came on when my mom was listening, and she said, "Shake it like a roly-poly pizza," and I started dying.
shake it like a roly-poly pizza.
Like a roly-poly pizza, and I was like, "Where did you do that? It's obviously a Polaroid picture." And she's like, "I think I'm hungry."
That's
And
at
that's all the logical
AAA
reason.
Mandy on Twitter for more hot takes
Yes,
about
if you-
Roly Poly Outcast combo crap.
Roly-poly.
Shit
But
my
yeah,
mom.
if
Shit
you
my
would
mom
like-
says.
If you'd like, exactly. If you would like me to start a list of shit my, I'd be kicked out.
Yes. Yes, please do.
She's
I'm interested
crazy.
to see what Mama
She's so
Mandy
funny,
says.
especially when she gets man, she's crazy.
All right, who's up next?
I mean, I was just gonna run through some space places because those are literally uninhabitable climates.
Man, yeah, space. What a terrible place. to live.
Memories,
Space would
especially the
suck.
first episode, Magnetic Rose. It's really great.
Masterpiece.
Space Brothers, which shows a really good job, especially on the moon, the climate there. Knights of Shidonia, which is just kind of awful all around. You got Planet Test, which is a space trash man, which is a great show and shows the dangers of it.
Great.
And, you got Space Dandy, which is absolutely unrealistic,
Not
but
so great.
dangerous everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But my actual next show was actually the trilogy of Godzilla movies that Polygon Pictures and Netflix did a couple years ago.
Those are fun.
Those are actually, as not a big Godzilla fan, they're a ton of fun, and you don't need to know anything going into them.
Nope.
And there's some unbelievably epic moments in there.
Godzilla can get it, dude. Like, he just gets in there.
Essentially,
he gets all
climate
up in
of
there.
Earth is so bad because of Godzilla's presence. Like, the whole biosphere bends to its will and makes Earth spectacularly uninhabitable between terrain shifts, fog, electromagnetic fields, and an atmosphere that is impenetrable. And I just don't want to get too into the weeds, but definitely check it out as new environmental disasters keep on appearing because of this giant lizard's presence, and it's a good time.
It's a good time. It is a good time.
Except for living there.
Yeah, except for the people living there, it's a great time.
Yeah.
But from the outside in, good time. I got my last one, and this one's legitimately just from memory, but I'm gonna pick the anime Wolf's Rain from fucking forever ago.
I remember that.
Because please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's usually literally almost always raining in those scenes when they're talking.
Hey,
and
it's in the name.
It's in the name, and they also spend a lot of time up in the north in an Antarctica type scenario. It's place in the snow. So fuck that. I'm good on that. That's it. That's where my memory stopped. The other two I had was Claymore and Trigun as well.
I don't remember rain. I remember a lot of snow though.
Yeah, snow for sure. I remember snow because I remember they had that.
It's been a long
fight.
time. God, that's so old.
Yeah, they had
well,
that,
for me.
Didn't they fight they fought a giant walrus or some shit?
You've piqued my interest.
I think they fought a giant walrus up north or some shit, in Antarctica or something. I don't know, but anyway, they're always cold and it's wet all the time. I think. I also would say quickly going off of Mason's theme of space, Bebop's Earth is way hot. It's really hot. So that too. That's it.
I am going to just throw the rest of mine out here because I guess we're pretty much done.
I've only got one left anyway.
But Ponyo, it rained a lot in that movie, and there's a monsoon. Oh, yeah, Ponyo. Golden Kamuy, it was just cold. They're sleeping inside of they're sleeping inside of carcasses and shit in that anime. It's miserable. And then Mugen Wakusei Survive is a show about a bunch of middle schoolers that get trapped on an alien planet, and it's just everything's trying to kill them the whole time, and it's just a shitty place to live and be. And I really enjoyed that anime, and probably not very commonly seen. Mugen Wakusei Survive, but yeah, that's a shitty place to live. You're just gonna starve and be eaten by monsters for sure.
Sick.
Okay, I'm all out.
To quickly run through my last two, one was Children of the Whales, because from what we could see at least, the entire world is covered in sand now. We don't know what happened to get to that point, but it's just pure sand, and everyone
and sand gets everywhere too.
It does.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hey, everywhere.
Everywhere. It's just pure sand, and they're all in these little floating, traveling islands that just keep moving, and it looks awful to look on. It just looked also really hot. But the other one was Yokohama Shopping Log. That one is a post-apocalyptic anime where most of the world has been destroyed by this environmental disaster, and the sea levels have risen, and everyone lives on these tiny little islands. So, of all the people who are still alive, I think most of the people still alive are androids, though, or no, I'm sorry, not androids. What do you call them?
Cyborgs?
Something? No, not cyborgs. AI. I guess it's an android, right?
Don't know. Can't help you. Sorry.
They learn.
Game over, man.
They function like people, but they're robots.
All right,
That's
what
it.
else? Anything else?
My last one, what I considered the worst place, was Kashurn Sins.
True.
Have not seen that.
First of all, it's as aesthetically pleasing as the climate is unappealing. So essentially, it takes place after an apocalypse, but this is like next level apocalypse because obviously it kills a bunch of humans, standard fare, and it leaves like the ones that do survive, like unable to reproduce. Yeah, whatever, seen it before. But even like the robots, which are like highly advanced in like cybernetic capacity, like the oxide in the air just like causes them to rust. So they're like constantly just like wandering this like toxic environment and atmosphere, like searching for like replacement parts to keep them going until they can get to the next replacement parts. Like there's no water, there's devastated plant life. Like it's such a bleak looking show. Like there's never sun, there's very little green, like everything is just black and oppressively grim, and it's one of the worst climates to exist within. And that one, I mean, it's literally called The Ruin, so it embodies it pretty well.
I also bumped my mic, so if you heard something, I apologize.
All right. Okay, get us out of here, Mandy. I bumped my mic too.
So yeah, we have a... do we want to talk about the responses real quick? There's only 3 of them.
Oh, sure.
I grabbed some responses from people online. Care GW wrote Girls Last Tour, also what Mason said. That Katie Jones wrote definitely the world of Trigun. I think we all said that. And also the areas between cities of Mayatome and Bert, sorry, might have messed up your name. Ergo Proxy, the areas outside the domes were truly a wasteland.
True.
So yeah, we have a intro trivia question which we'll answer after the break. The film Kiki's Delivery Service is based on what kind of source material? We will answer it after the break.
See you soon.
Hey everybody, Mitsuki's back one more time, bringing you your next round of anime news. Starting us off with some video games this time. It looks like the PlayStation 4 console has finally exceeded 100 million units shipped worldwide. Sony announced this as it announced the results for the first quarter of its 2019 fiscal year, stating that it had shipped 3.2 million units of the PlayStation 4 system during the quarter, bringing the worldwide total to just more than 100 million units. Not many consoles have reached 100 million units, only a handful, including the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, which came out obviously before the PS4. And next up, more video game news. However, this time Dragon Ball Fighter Z related. It looks like Bandai Namco announced on Saturday that Jikenbo, who is the villain from the 12th Dragon Ball Z movie, Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, is going to be joining the game, the Fighter Z game. It looks like you're going to be able to play this character starting on August 8th. So it looks like this is part of the new Fighter Z Pass 2 season. And watching some clips of Jikenbo fighting in the game, he looks like a pretty complex, dynamic character. And I gotta say that Bandai Namco really is diving deep to include all of the characters that they want to from the Dragon Ball universe, because Jikenbo is somewhat obscure from the Dragon Ball Z movie 12. Next up, sticking with video games, just to be fair, the Nintendo Switch console has now sold just around 37 million units worldwide. Nintendo announced this when they were announcing their financials as well. The company revealed that its sales of the Switch were 18 million units for the fiscal year of 2019. The console sold almost 10 million units in the 3-month period between October 1st and December 31st of 2018. So it looks like a pretty huge success. The Nintendo Switch continues to roll on, and more success and video games to come in the future, I'm sure. And lastly, with some somber news, it looks like the Kyoto police have named 10 victims who died in the Kyoto animation fire. They've only announced 10 of the 35 total victims, and people of course are mourning all over the world the loss of the talent and the life from the studio of Kyoto Animation. And police have added that they are not yet releasing the names of the other 25 victims due to DNA testing and other circumstances. or at the request of the victims' families. And we will be talking about this more in an upcoming episode where we talk about Kyoto Animation more at length. But for now, we continue to hope and pray for the families of those that were affected by the Kyoto Animation arson attack. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
After a tough day at work, I just want to veg out on the internet. I wonder what kind of weird hentai goods JList.com has on sale.
Kazuo, what are you looking at?
Oh, well, this is embarrassing. It was JList.com.
What was that? Go back to it.
Oh, that was an anime boob mouse pad.
Really? Has it come to that, Kazuo?
Hell no, man. I'm keeping it real. But JList keeps it real, too. Real perverted. They've got hyper-realistic boob mouse pads, sexy pillows, naughty calendars and anime figures, and an array of Tenga products.
Did somebody say Tenga?
Good God. Where'd you come from?
That's right, my bald, mid-30-something anime grumpy pants man.
Damn, I love Tenga.
Has it come to that, Mitz?
Hell no, Enzo. I just love to feel the embrace of a Tenga egg when I stretch it over...
Whoa. Okay, now.
Over my bald head.
I think that's even weirder.
Head over to JList.com and get yourself set up with some of the finest Japanese adult products.
Hi, I'm J. Michael Tatum. I play Sebastian in Black Butler, and I'm a total anime addict.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
Do they make reverse kotatsus? A kotatsu that is cooling instead of heating. Just be like, I'm just going to sit underneath here and chill my balls, you know?
That's called a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. I don't
It's
know.
called a refrigerator.
Putting my balls in your
Just
refrigerator.
Just open your refrigerator, stick your leg up on like the countertop with your balls just like hanging free.
One day you're going to walk into your kitchen and you're just going to see my bare ass sticking out of your fridge.
Your 14-year-old daughter comes home with her friend from school, and Dad is just sitting in the kitchen with his hairy ass and his balls hanging down in front of the fridge. He's like, Dad, not again!
No, he's sitting on the floor in the living room, and he's brought the fridge with him, and he's like laid it down on top of his body.
Just chilling
Come,
himself.
let's sit around the reverse kotatsu together, children.
Oh, Lord's in heaven.
That would be amazing.
Can there be a father-son edition where the
Yeah.
son is on a platform?
That's the advertisement.
And he's cooling his balls too
Yeah.
on in the freezer.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then you have the kid standing underneath.
So the dad's balls are hanging on top of the little kid.
They're not touching them.
It's kind of like an intimate tea bag.
Yeah, he's going under the bridge.
And now, back to the podcast.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that drop is just a lot.
Welcome back to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we sell our own reverse kotatsus.
Yes, of course.
You can get one for you to share with your family.
Yep.
Just chill
Indeed.
out.
Indeed.
There's a discount if you're a father, you know?
Yep. And if you have a son, you get a 2-for-1 deal on a step stool.
Yeah.
On
On a step stool,
on
yeah.
reverse kotatsu.
All right, so
But
we had a trivia.
Never mind. It's not important. I was
Joke
gonna say, what if your
over.
balls get stuck to it?
We're not
Like frozen
responsible.
to it.
Yeah. Of course.
We're not responsible.
Of course not. We're very
Anyways.
responsible for ourselves.
Our trivia question. Who wants to cover that?
Go ahead. All three of us went.
Let's
Damn.
all
Let's all do it at the same time.
I
How about
really
that?
want to do this, okay? Before the break, we asked you to contemplate the question. The film Keys Delivery Service is based on what kind of source material? The answer, Mason, please tell me the answer, man.
It's a novel
Yeah, it is.
based on or written by Eiko Kodono, published in 1985. If
Eiko
Yeah.
Kodono. I like that name. I'm sorry. I apologize to
It's a
you,
good-
to the
Eiko
person,
Kodono. Eiko Kodono.
but you have a funny name.
Eiko, I think, is a dope
Eiko
name.
Kodono.
Eiko.
That's the year I was born.
Me too.
Oh, we're fucking old.
Damn.
I'm chilling, baby. So is Mason.
We also have a 5-star review. Since people actually like us.
It's time for iTunes review.
This iTunes review is brought to you by the Snapback King Z.
Take it away,
Mason,
Mason.
you really wanted to do this one.
Okay, Mason.
I
go
got this one. It's entitled Much Love. Putting a smile on my face is no easy task, but I do catch myself doing it frequently to this podcast.
Oh,
I'm a person of natural and organic experience.
like this music.
So when it comes to the AAA team's chemistry, I know it is nothing but love regardless of opinions. Well, unless you mention Moe accidentally.
Unless it's Moe, then it's just hatred and judgment.
Keep up the great experiences. I can't call it work because I can see that's not how you approach it. P.S. Is there a such thing as low-fat bread's milk?
What the hell does that mean?
What?
I've reread this multiple times. Low-fat bread's milk.
Did he mean to say?
I don't know if there's supposed to be
breast
commas.
milk?
That,
Low-fat breast milk. LOL.
or he's looking for low-fat breads and low-fat milk, like separately. I'm gonna say the answer is 100% yes? Question mark, and leave it at that.
And we'll leave it at that.
Do you think it was an autocorrect and it was supposed to be breast? Like
I think-
low-fat breast milk?
I think.
Oh, for
Snapback
God's sake.
Kings is asking if there's low-fat breast milk in the world, and here's the thing, my guy. No, there's not.
I need a drop of an explosion so I can blow this up.
Do it.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. We're so happy that
Yeah, glad you enjoy it.
No, he's not
And-
blowing up the comment. He's blowing us up. Like, oh.
I'm blowing up the
If
blowing up
it's
the
us, it's
conversation.
blowing up our breast milk?
I'm blowing up the breast milk talk.
Oh, sure. All right, you can cut the breast milk. Cut the
You
breast
know
milk,
what?
everyone.
You know what? I'm taking control.
Today,
Do some
we're going to be
impressions.
doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it!
Believe it, bitch.
Let me know when I can speak.
I don't want to go
Speak.
first because I only have one.
Okay.
You guys have.
I have
Ends was
3.
3.
So I should go first.
You should go first.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna start with Given. So Given is an anime. Oh my Jesus! I closed all my mouth sites.
Oh my
God.
Jesus.
Oh my Jesus. Given is an anime that I actually was made aware of by Mandy a long time, like months ago. And it is from the studio Lerche. Lerche has done some stuff in recent times, and which have been, I think, like hit or miss ish. I don't have the full list in front of me, but Given is interesting to me right off the bat because the key visual is 4 dudes laying down in a studio with a drum set, a guitar, a bass, and another guitarist. So immediately I'm just like, oh shit, a music anime.
It's an
And not
Enzo
just a
anime.
music anime. Yeah, it's not just a music anime. It is like it's guitars and shit, right? So I'm like, dope. Let's go into this. So when the more information came out, and I was made privy to this earlier, is that this is a boys' love show, right?
Yes,
Boys.
correct.
Yeah. So because the manga is so, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I'm down as fuck for that. So I was hoping that this would be great. My expectations, I want this to be good because I heard that the manga was like pretty solid, but the synopsis is the synopsis is so terribly written in Mal, and plus we already described it back when we chose our shows. But basically, this is a show about a kid who has a guitar. He runs into someone that he is attracted to for several reasons, and that person knows how to play guitar, and he wants him to teach him. Here's how I feel about the show. I like it so far. Through episodes 1 and 3, you get really cool like references to bands like the Arctic Monkeys, which is like one of the bands that got me into rock in general when I was younger. Immediately you get a really cool jam between the guitarist, the bassist, and the more experienced guitarist, called Ritsuka. Yeah, Ritsuka is amazing guitarist, and it's cool because the jam that the band has is kind of math rocky, which is sick. So I was all in for that. So animation during the musical parts, which is something I'm always worried about too, is actually pretty good. It's not bad. It's not the CG crap, and it's not the fluidity of like Kids on the Slope, but it's solid. It's watchable. It's very enjoying.
It's rotoscoped.
Yeah. Oh, ooh.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, nice. But it's not like the level of like Carol and Tuesday either. Like it's just like It's good though. I like it. It's not bad whatsoever. It's just not the most amazing thing I've seen. All the characters, minus the main character who is Mafuyu, I love. I love Ritsuka. I love the bassist and the drummer. They have such a good chemistry with each other, and they are together a great duo that refreshes your palate whenever you go to them and go back to the main two. So I like their relationship a lot. What I find weakest on the show at the moment through episode 3 is the main character though, which is Mafuyu Sato. And the reason is in general I have a thing that irks me when someone can't like someone's very like immature and babyish in the way they act, right? So like Mafuyu is pretty clueless about playing guitar, um, but that's okay. Like that's not something I was clueless when I first started too. But it's just like to the level that to his level of cluelessness is very annoying. Like it's like he owns a guitar, and I'm sure there's reasons for this that come up later, perhaps.
Yeah,
But
there are.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So, but at the moment, from what is presented, like he owns a guitar, but he literally knows nothing about it whatsoever. He doesn't. He like Ritsuka has to tell him that these are pegs, these are strings, these strings can change, like all that stuff. And I don't really believe in any realistic setting that you own a guitar for whatever reason and you don't,
Well, they talked about in third episode why he has it.
um
I mean, I get the like concept of like a beginner who has to like be taught through the audience, but this sounds like to me similar to like Yaomushi pedal, where this guy is like a great bike rider, but doesn't even know like about shifting gears or how pedals work, or like it's
Yeah.
almost too
it's like
beginner-esque
too
for
amateur, it's
how
like too, yeah,
for his condition.
yeah, it's like like before I started playing guitar, like, and before I was even surrounded by musicians like the way I am now, it's like just by living life, like that a guitar has to change strings, or like you hear that a guitarist broke his string on stage or something, so they have to go change it. So, but that's super minor. Like that's super minor. It's just an annoyance that I have with his character. But aside from that, everything about the show is like pretty solid right now. I like how the story is meshing. The characters talk to each other in a very natural way that I really enjoy. Ritsuka is cool as fuck. I love him. He's great. And his sister is really cute as well. I must say, I gotta say it. His sister's very cute. So I'm very happily passing. Given I'm so happy that we have a music anime. I live for music anime. There are not enough of them. So when they do come out, I try to restrain my expectation, but this one met it, even though I try my best to do that. But yeah, so passing given, very happy to do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Also,
wait. Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
it's also nice because in a lot of BL series, they totally ignore female characters, but like in this one, Ritsuka's sister is great. She's
Yeah,
really
dude, she's so cool.
yeah. So I like that they're also focusing on the other characters. I think the other guys in the band are fantastic too.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
I love them.
Yeah,
And
no, they're great. And the
they'll
thing is,
get
like,
more development later on,
oh,
but
perfect. Yeah, and,
yeah.
and again, I want to emphasize that they are
Akihiko is my favorite character.
yeah, they're so great because whenever I'm like slightly annoyed at how dumb like or how ignorant Mafuyu is about the guitar shit, when they cut to those two, it's just like, oh wow, like this is a great chemistry of characters.
Well,
And they come back to Mafuyu, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. I'm
doesn't know
refreshed.
how has never even been like he was just given this guitar like recently. He has no idea about anything about guitars, but he's not even really the guitarist. He's a good singer, and that's like
Yeah.
his role.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
So
But
it's not like he just picked up a guitar and was a brilliant player or anything.
no, and I like that, and I like that he's not like a genius off the bat. Like that would have been so annoying. But his level of incompetency is just like unrealistic. But again, it's a small thing, like super small thing. It doesn't.
One
He's
one quick question. You mentioned some math rock at the beginning. Is that
Oh, yeah.
kind of overall the kind of music they play, or is it a little more
the
pop
band.
rock?
The band definitely plays more pop, more like
Okay.
pop punk. Like now, I don't want to say pop punk like that, but it's more pop. There's more pop to it. But I think that's when they're playing like their band stuff. But when they were just jamming
the experienced guys were showing what level of musicianship they do have.
Exactly. It was, I think it was like a legit math rock riff. It was sick, dude. Like,
I'm excited to check it out. I'm very excited.
You should watch it for sure because the drumming in that part was pretty sick too. So yeah. Okay, that's it. That's given. Passed.
Passed.
Should it be me or Mace? Which one? Want to go? Oh no, you don't.
I got nothing today. I've got my feet up. I'm relaxed.
Do you want me to go next, or do you want to do Copcraft?
I'll just do Copcraft.
Okay.
So Copcraft is a cop crime drama, basically, that's done by by Studio Millie Pensy, which as we've been through this a few times, but they don't have like a very diverse background. They've done like a million TQ seasons, and they did the remake of Berserk, which no one liked. So, great track record. And the director is Shin Itagaki. Now, Shin Itagaki has done some stuff. Now, he's been around the block a few times. He directed Basquatch, which some people might remember because it's got the giant robots that play basketball on Nike shoes. He did Bento, which a lot of people liked because it's like that silly show about fighting over food in the convenience stores, and I completely can relate to that. He directed both seasons of the new Berserk, so unfortunately, he directed Black Cat. He's done a lot of stuff. I mean, he's done a lot of things, and aside from that, he's just got a ton of credits behind his name as well. He also directed all the TQ stuff, so he clearly works for the studio. Copcraft is this story where a gate has opened up over the Pacific Ocean, and the gate connects this other world called Reto Semani, and it's kind of hard to pronounce. And think of it as I'm thinking of it as like Record of Lodoss War almost. It's this, or the Slime anime. It's this fantasy. It's this other world, but it's clearly like elves and gnomes and all that. It's very, very much like the otherworldly sort of races of creatures that you read about in books and Lord of the Rings and all that.
Something else we've seen. It sounds like Gate.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah, except thankfully it's not. So yeah, because Gate's like fan servicey and tropey, like out the wazoo.
It's just that.
Yeah, and you got like little moe girls and like frilly maid skirts swinging scythes around and shit. So, but in this anime, Copcraft, essentially the gate is there, and there's a lot of different races of beings that coexist with humans in this world, in this city called Santa Teresa City. And as the description of the anime says, there's 2 million immigrants living in the city, and there's a lot of crime in the city. And thus is the setting. It's like this crime-ridden black market, lots of seedy stuff going on. I almost think of it as like the town that Black Lagoon takes place in, because it's like there's all this crime happening. And in this town, there's a cop named Kei Matoba, and right off the bat at the beginning of the first episode, they're getting ready. They're like undercover, and they're getting ready to like buy this ferry from these other guys, and it's illegal to sell these. It's almost like human trafficking, right? So they're selling this ferry. It's in a jar, but they're cops and they're undercover, and they reveal that they're cops, and then there's like a scuffle, and Kei Matoba's partner dies, and it's sad. He has to tell the family, your family, your father's dead or whatever. It's sad. And they assign to him another partner, and what is admittedly a little tropey. Her name is Talarna. Her last name's impossible to say. I'm not even going to bother. But her name's Talarna, and she's a knight from the other world, and it's more or less a little girl. I mean, she looks about 14, maybe. But she's like she's strong, she's fast, she's kind of sassy. Her character design is quite nice. Like I'm looking at it right here. It looks pretty nice. She's great with a sword, and she's basically there because she is trying to get back the ferry that was lost in that drug deal. And the ferry is like a noble lineage, I guess. And so they're trying to retrieve that ferry, and basically that's what's happening. And the last 2 episodes of the anime are like a lot of sort of crime drama stuff. Like they're interviewing people, investigating people, and he's trying to keep the little girl in line because she doesn't really know the world very well, so she's kind of getting into trouble and doing things the wrong way. And the basic plot line that unfolds through the first 3 episodes is that the chief of police, it's kind of like predictable, but the chief of police is working with the bad guys and they're using all these fairies that they've collected to make this bomb, B-O-M-B, that doesn't like blow things up, but it makes like a psychic effect that can like enslave people. So like there's this guy in the anime that can use the effect of this toxin or whatever to make people do whatever they want. And there's a scene where like these 2 police officers come up on this pier and they're kind of like what are you guys doing out here on this pier? And they set off like a small scale bomb as a demonstration, and the cops get like their minds taken over and they end up killing each other, and the one commits suicide. And the reason why it's very like xenophobic, but like the reason why the chief of police is like in on this is because the other world, the inhabitants, which are just like flooding in like without ceasing, their lifespan is a lot longer than humans. And so his fear is he's like, people don't know this is happening, and even they don't know it's happening, like the immigrants. But in a few years, in a couple of generations, they will take over our world because their lifespan is so much longer than ours that they will outlast us, and they will be the one. They will just innately take us over because we're gonna, their population is vastly gonna outnumber ours. So he wants to set up.
Flawed mentality. Oh my God.
He wants to set off this bomb in the city to scare people and create like fear mongering, I guess, to start a movement to like shut the gate off or close it or whatever. Which I guess like his train of thought kind of makes sense. I mean, if I live 150 years and you live 50 years, like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna die and I won't, and I'll be here. But it's just very cliche that like the chief of police kind of shows up at the end of the 3rd episode and kind of backstabs Kay while he's investigating, and of course it's the chief of police. So I like the premise of the show a lot. It's not really like anime tropey really all that much, to be honest, even though the little girl in it she's not really that little. I mean, she's about 14. I mean, I don't know, but it's not animated that well, and the story is interesting, but it's kind of hit or miss, to be honest. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever watched. But like I'm interested in it, and I kind of want to see where they go with the premise. So I'm gonna pass the show. I hesitantly pass it. Like I think that there's some like good possibility here for it, and I like to see like a crime drama that's like actually about police doing investigating and not that with like a bunch of other crap thrown in. So
Right.
I'm gonna pass it. So yeah. All right, passing. Here we go.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
What the fuck was that one?
Back-to-back passes.
I didn't think I'd pass this show, to be honest, but I think I slept on it for a week or 2, and I think I'm okay.
And that drop is from Glorious Bastards.
Okay.
There you go.
It's a new one though, right?
No,
yeah,
we've had that for a while.
It's new for as of a couple like seasons ago.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. Copcraft.
Mandy. Okay, do you want to go last, Mandy?
Well, you
shouldn't
have
we go
2
Enzo,
more.
Mandy, Enzo?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I know, but like I know Mandy has prepared a.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do and no Shovel Tie next, which is Fire Force.
Fire Force.
Fire Force had a lot of hype behind it, a super lot of hype, especially because the choreo director is very well known, and it shows. It really shows. Like Fire Force, I guess really quickly is about it's a world where we are dealing with like fire demons and shit, and we have a special line of firefighters that have some powers that can fight these demons. One particular person, the main character, his name is Shinra. He can use fire himself, and so that makes him a little special. But anyway, so that's the main overall premise of the show, and which I think is cool. and also the aesthetic is awesome. Like the aesthetic of the firefighters is dope. You know, I never thought I would look at a firefighter and be like, "Yo, that shit's dope." Like that outfit goes hard, but it does. Um, and with all that, the animation is amazing. Like the animation is fluid. It looks good. The fighting is so smooth, like so smooth. It's crazy how smooth it is. Like David Production or whatever this like thing that yeah, studios David Production, like they went off. They went off because it's fluid as hell. And it's also just framed very well. All the shots are solid. What where this show is like really weak in though, like really weak in, like unfortunately is at the moment story. Nothing really there for me yet. Like there is an underlying big bad that kind of reveals. Um the first episodes deal with a lot of Shinra's past. You know, a very shonen opening where the main character has a dark past. You know, he lost people he loved, so he's going for redemption and shit. Very shonen, like textbook shonen character intro. Um, but that's really all you get in the first three episodes. So perhaps there's more to come. I mean, there is more to come, but at the moment, it's not. I'm not hooked on the story. Secondly, the characters feel so like Control C, Control V, fam. Like it's like they just took like Naruto, but like put him in like a fire world, and like that's what this feels like. I don't know. The personalities aren't there, and on top of all that, like it's just in episode 3, for example. I know a lot of people had like were agree with me when I said this on Twitter, and like that tweet came out of just a blind like I couldn't not say it. Like I was so fucking like, disappointed. Like this Shinra, the main dude, is talking to a general who he potentially recognizes from his memory of when he dealt with that shit in the past, of whatever he went through, and he's trying to talk to this guy, and then he walks away, and then out of nowhere, this girl that works for that general comes up to him and says like, "Hey, like don't talk to my general like that," and for no reason, like Shinra just goes for her boob and grabs it and squeezes it, and then he pulls away, and his reasoning was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." Verbatim. "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." Like what else did you mean, fam? Like
I
what?
think maybe it has something to do with that character. Like she invites that, but it's still a fucking stupid.
No, it's still dumb. It's just dumb. So like I was already not feeling the story, and I was not interested by the characters whatsoever. The premise is a little weak for now. It is weak right now. It hopefully will not be weak, but it's just not like amazing animation and beautiful choreo.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They're good. Beautiful animation is not enough for me. Like I'm a huge story guy. Anyone that's ever talked to me about anime knows that story is number one. What characters and story are number one for me. So I unfortunately, fam, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to fail the shonen that was hyped this season, which is one of the shonen that was hyped this season in Fire Force. Like I'm failing Fire Force, dudes. Damn.
Let me just back you up by saying that I'm kind of glad that you didn't pass this because
it sucks, dude.
Aesthetically, this show didn't hit with me at all. Like I was annoyed by everything that this show like brought to the table in terms of visuals, like animation aside completely. Like right off the bat, totally turned off by the just shark teeth. I can't watch. I cannot look at that. Like I just can't. I look at it and I'm like, what am I looking at? It's like Chain Chomp from Mario. It's ridiculous. And all of their fireman outfits are just. Absolutely.
I love it. I would rock that shit today.
Aesthetically, this show was an F- for me. I mean, everything else aside, just the look of it.
Which looked better, this firefighter show or the other firefighter?
The one with no uniform.
The naughty one.
Hey.
I mean, the naughty firemen. They're wearing real fireman uniforms. Like they look like firemen.
They're just point for accuracy.
They're
my
just
favorite.
They're just getting busy in another way, not like at night, and it's not putting out fires. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I love the first episode. The animation was stunning. I was like, fuck. Even if I'm not really solid on what's happening, it's fun to watch. And then the second episode, I was like, it's okay. And the third one was like a no deal for me.
It's
I just
definitely the kind of show where you just go to Sakugo Boru once it
Right.
finishes, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh, let me look at all these super cuts
Yeah.
of great anime.
yeah.
I'm
And that's it.
1000%.
Sakugo wise, it's packed.
Oh,
It
it's
is great shit in it.
Sakuga out the ass. Like, I'm definitely gonna fucking be on YouTube watching these fights as they come out later. But like, I have no interest in the story.
Just make a
Us-
bunch of dope AMVs to it.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Do you
Give me that.
do you guys like the shark teeth crap?
I don't.
I mean, I
like
love
it.
Rin, so yes.
You,
No,
God,
no.
it is fucking
Good
brutal.
point, Good point. You like Rin. It doesn't bother me. I do want to say that maybe like in just a quick like commentary on like where I'm at in life. Maybe it's because I'm older now. Like that shit, like it just doesn't hit. Like it, like my level, my standard for story, I think is just higher. And
You're
like
a
shonen,
baby.
I
Stop.
am a little boy. You're
You
right.
guys,
I mean,
both you and Mason are the babies.
you've grown up and you've seen enough anime that you're not satisfied
I'm
by
not
like
impressed by cookie
by
cutter, you know?
by like
Yeah.
boob grab jokes and shit like that. You know, it's just not interesting. So it's
Well,
the
I
same.
mean,
It's
just even
it,
without that, it's just like the story hooks weren't there, fam. Like,
it's just, it happens to all of us. Like, you know, if you like back in like 15 years ago, if you went and watched Love Hina when you were 10 or 11, you probably think it was awesome. But now if you watch
oh,
Love Hina,
Love Hina
you,
was one of my favorites when I was
yeah,
10.
if you
or
watch it
12
now,
or
you'll
whatever.
if you watch it now, you'll be like, what was I thinking? Like, wow. Because the whole show is like just sexual jokes and people being punched and like turning into little stars
yeah.
in the sky. It's just
Oh, yeah.
goofy. So anyway, but that's
yeah.
just for reference, Copcraft was I know we're not done yet. Copcraft was the third choice of people listening for the season for passing.
Interesting.
Fire Force was a close second to Vinland Saga, or sorry, to Doctor Stone. So wait, Vinland Saga and Doctor Stone were tied for first, then Fire Force. So you got some. NT's got some balls snuffing out the
Dude, I
flames
know.
of Fire
And
Force.
and it's funny because I texted Mandy and I was like, "Yo, Mandy, like, it's okay to fail Fire? Like, well, the people hate me," and she was like, "Just do it, fam."
They do. You
I
gotta
was
do
like,
it.
I don't care.
I gotta
You
say,
do
if nothing else, it makes you not predictable.
I think
Also-
people that know my taste would understand and not be shocked that I failed Fire Force. You know. It's just,
Also, that thing that you heard earlier was my Spirited Away bank just decided to go off for no reason. No Face really wanted to just
Mandy, you're
fucking
haunted.
sing.
And you know it. Your apartment's haunted, and you know it.
I was like,
You're
oh
in denial
no,
about it.
I should mute myself. Fucking No Face was like, ah.
Damn. Call an exorcist. All right. Now I think we've got a Mandy.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
So ready.
Are you gonna go off? All right.
Okay, so
I
this
gotta
one,
get angry music drop ready.
this one is for the Mommy Sekai show. Do you love your mom and her to hit target attacks? I've seen a bunch of different translations of the title. That's the one that I decided to go with. But so this one, okay. So it's a light novel adaptation, and is being adapted by JC Staff. Or adapted. Man, my brain. I'm so sorry. I caught myself afterwards. I'm like, why do
I
I
just want
love
to say,
that?
Mandy is
fake word?
Mandy is very literate and articulates very. Today she's just.
Adapted. I meant adapted because that's the fucking word I wanted to use. Anyways, so this, I think the rage in me is already built up and
Yeah,
melted.
I can hear it, dude.
Anyways, but this is a story about a boy named Mito, and he randomly signed a piece of paper. He had no idea what it was, but this woman shows up at his house and says, "We would like you to test out our new video game." And she's like, "Would you like to do this? How do you want to live in a game?" He's like, yeah, I'm a teenage boy. Of course I would." And so she says, "Okay, great." Boom. And then this point is already stupid to me because I would have accepted it if she was like, "Oh, cool, we're going to give you this VR set." Like, even if it was like, Sword Art Online style, like this, put on this headset, that boom, you're in a game. I would have appreciated that, but she's like, "Okay, great," and types in a random code into his computer, and boom, he's sucked into a game. I was like,
What?
how?
Dude, what kind of technology? What the fuck?
Yeah, and so he's in a game. He's like, "Great! Oh, I can't wait to go."
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
So he's like, great, I'm inside a game. I can't wait to go. All of a sudden, wait. Turns around, his mom is now in the game. She's like, I told you to wait for me. And the woman also put her into this game. Her name, there's a lot of mom puns in this as well. Like all of the cities and areas are named like stupid mom puns to them. Sure. Her name is Mamako. There's like a hot spring called Mother's Milk. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, at this point, they go up to the place where they get their first quest, and they pick out their first weapons. Masato picks up a sword, is like, great, I'm gonna use this, and then Mamako picks up the other two swords, and all of a sudden she wields two like legendary weapons. And when they go through the tutorial, of course she knows nothing about video games at all, so she's excited by everything she's doing, and but she's like just tearing through enemies, and Masato of course is being little shit like, man, my mom is more powerful than me, this isn't fun. So at this point in the story, this is pretty much what I expected, because I really wanted an isekai about a mom and her son bonding through a video game. I was like, I'm willing to overlook the whole stupid way they got into this game if I just get some more wholesome, heartwarming moments of these two bonding together, going on an adventure, him appreciating his mom, her being an overpowered badass, because we don't get any really, really powerful women like these guys, hardly. Oh, yeah, so hardly. I was excited. Then the second episode happened.
Here it comes, dude.
Here it comes. Oh my god.
So it starts off, the second episode starts off with Masato's like, we need to recruit people to parties so we can go on adventures, because that's what you do in an RPG MMO.
I'm so nervous, Mandy. You sound so pissed.
But Mamako isn't looking at this as like, we want to recruit people for our team. She wants to recruit a wife. So she's like, oh, let's interview all these girls, put out all these girl profiles. Let's find you a wife. Mm-hmm. So they start doing their interview. First woman or girl, I think she's probably a teenager, but she is a warrior, and Mamako automatically fails her. She's like, you hit too hard. No. So already she doesn't like powerful women. The second one was a thief, and I'll give her that. She's like, you seem to be, a shady person. No, I'll give her that. Fucking thief stealing shit. Of course I give that. The third one was so offensive because an elf priestess comes up and she's like, an elf, ew, and fails her for just being an elf. Look, no. I have spent 13 years of my life as I'm offended.
Let her have it.
No, but sorry, do we know she's also an elf racist. Anyway, that's anyways, but so then they do finally find their party. There's another girl who joins them. She's the typical tsundere, fucking cliche. And she is also looking for her, like she has been separated from her mom, because there's other testers in this game who have been sucked in there with their mothers. So she is also without her mother. And then there's another girl there who we haven't really learned anything about. She's just a very shy, very, that typical trope of a girl who's scared of everything, kind of. But then they go on their first quest. And already they get sucked, like they're walking along and they fall down, and as they're both Masato and the other girl accidentally grab Mamako's chest. Accidentally, because there's no fucking way this could have ever been an accident.
Right.
They just grab her chest as she's falling. And then they run into a slime. And in the most, tropey, etchy shit, the slime throws slime at Mamako and starts to burn away her clothes.
Of course.
And so now she is naked, but Masato, her son, trips and slime falls on her. And now there is this whole awkward, oh, I fallen on my mom, I can't get up. Mamako blushing, and then there's a lot of sounds that make you think something else is happening. Yeah.
With his mother?
Yes, with his mother. the genres, there was never a. If I had known that, I would have avoided this. But at that point I had already checked out. But I have to watch 3 episodes. My impression. 3rd episode.
Oh my god.
Mako needs new armor, so she's trying on all of this very scantily clad armor and she's showing it off to her son. Her son's just embarrassed the entire time. Like, Mom, why?
I mean,
like, she is just
look good, feel good.
She is like half naked in all of these. And then they go to the hot spring, Mother's Milk, and
what
Masato,
the fuck?
I'm sorry, Mamako wants Masato to come into their hot spring with the other 2 ladies, so they're all naked together.
Yep.
And after that, we do learn a bit more about the other girl's mother. We find out that her mother is a garbage person. She spends all her money on host clubs, ignores her daughter, named her daughter after her favorite host. And in this world, she now has a male harem, and she's not even looking for her daughter, doesn't care anything about what's going on with her. She's just living her best male harem life, and she's a horrible fucking person. But Mamako tells her, tells the girl, any amount of, if you guys just keep bonding, you'll overcome this.
Oh my god, I hate her.
No.
Dude, I fucking hate her, dude.
No. Like, it's that... that pissed me. That's the part that pissed me off the most. Like, I don't care if you're like, I understand. Oh, family bonds. We're all supposed to love each other no matter what. But if your mother or parent is being very abusive towards you, no amount. You don't have to keep trying.
Yeah.
No, like her advice to her, like, if you just keep trying, your mother will come around. No, she ignores her, named her her favorite, spends all her money on host clubs. She's a garbage person. And you don't have to stick around with that.
Nope. You never do.
It pissed me off a lot.
I think the entire review could have been summed up by that audible shudder we heard, like, as you just recoiled from, like,
the
realization of what you just said. Yeah.
It was awful. If you love this, I am so sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. I hate it because I think it's terrible. But I'm sorry if I made you sad. But I, for sure, failing this. It was awful. I gave it a 0.5 on.
Damn.
On our list.
I saw that and I died laughing.
Had we had to score it, it would have been that low.
And also, I have been warned that from read the light novel, it goes full incest. I don't even care about spoiling it. So
yep, I don't give it. Yep, nope.
Full incest. Holy shit.
Shame. Full incest.
Like
shame. Save it for the hentai, people.
Shame.
Oh my god.
Shame. Shame.
There's a time and a place for incest, and it's called hentai. For some reason. I don't even know why it's there, even.
But it didn't even say ecchi in the genre.
It doesn't. No, and I remember.
So that's why I was so misled. That's probably why I hated it even more. If I had known that coming, I probably have been like, okay, I know what to expect. But
I remember you and I talking on an episode together on the podcast where we were just like, yo, this could be cool because we don't like isekai as always has a premise is a good idea, but it's just not innovated enough on it. And like we were like, yo, like this is mom, like that's cool.
Yeah. Damn. Maybe it's because I was so excited about it that I was super let down.
I was actually excited too, but whatevs.
I mean, I think objectively it would have let us all down anyway. Like regardless of expectation, bro. Like there's no way any four of us are gonna look at this and be like, oh great, like you're playing at incest with your mother, great. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You know? Like, fuck that. Fuck that noise. Anyway, the last one we're going to do an impression on is good old Dr. Stone, which is our listeners' most anticipated one tied with Vinland Saga.
Yep.
And also very kind of like like people were looking forward to it on the internet also. Dr. Stone is an anime where one day everyone in the world was turned to stone for reasons that I'm sure in the future will be made clear. For reasons. Everyone's turned to stone for 3,700 years, and we follow a I guess the secondary main character in Taiju, and Taiju wakes up from the stone sleep, He's like, whoa, and then he finds his way and finds out that his friend Senku is also awake. And Senku is the main character. I suppose you would call him Dr. Stone, but again, not sure that's who that is. But Senku is a brilliant like scientist kid, who is very well versed in like chemistry and all that stuff, and just a lot of knowledge like all around. So together they spend a year figuring out what it is that cures the stone that can bring people back from stone, because while you are stone, your consciousness is still up. So
Oh my God, that
yeah,
sucks.
these people were up and awake for 3,700 years.
That has to suck.
Yeah, that sucks for sure. And I one thing, just because this is a good example of like just like when you think about the systems of writing, like when you have a character wake up after 3,700 years, they don't just wake up. Like it's not like you were frozen and you just woke up one day. Like you had to have gone through some mental trauma, right? Like loss of purpose, loss of self, loss of time, like loss of all that stuff is crazy. Like you go insane thinking about like with all that stuff. So but these guys woke up like no big deal, which to me rubbed me the wrong way, but hey, it's anime. You gotta look past them.
Yeah. It's anime.
It's anime. So they wake up. But here's the thing. I'm very much enjoying the show because they, and I'll spoil it a little bit because it's very early on, but they figure out how to wake people up, and they wake up two people. They wake up the girl that Taiju is in love with, and they wake up a different high schooler who was known to be like the strongest high schooler out there in order for them to help, and they enlist him to help them out, in survival and stuff. And the guy they wake up presents an ideology, and it conflicts with the three other characters' ideology about how they're going to save the world. And I love that. I love a conflict of ideology. That is something that I always look forward to, because they both mean well in terms of the saving of humanity, but there's very different ways in how they want to go about it. So at the end of episode 3, you see the first bout of conflict between the characters with this, and then they move on from that, and now we're gonna go forward with the show. But a couple things that really also draw me in is they use the mechanic of montages to show the passage of time, and they do it really well. There were like 3 montages in the first episode about the time passing while there's stone, the building the little village between Taiju and Senku together, and also when they travel out of their camp. Really well done montages. I think a good montage is when you clearly demonstrate passage of time, but also at the same time develop characters with no words being done, like no words being said, and like it was really, really well done montages to show that. So I am very happily and also very curious about where the show's gonna go. So I'm happily passing Dr. Stone, which I honestly I made it my number 1 because it's a premise I haven't tackled in the past, and also because it had a lot of hype in the community. But I'm very satisfied with it so far. So episodes 1 through 3 were pretty fucking good. So, but I will say though, characters from here on out have to be written well, because I can see them becoming very bland. Also,
all right.
So yeah, but for now, totally passing Dr. Stone.
Yes! Now this is going to be a good story.
Wow, we got 3 passes today.
Yeah, I really like I just want to one up. I really like your points about the montage use, because it really shows that they're interested in presenting the most interesting part of the story as soon as possible. And it felt like I wasn't wasting my time to get there.
No, exactly.
So.
Dude, the pacing of that show, of the first episode specifically, was
great.
Super good. They covered a lot in those 25 minutes of the first episode really well, for sure.
All right, let's do a recap here. So far we've passed 6 shows. which is pretty good. We passed the Dumbbell anime, we passed Copcraft, we passed O Maidens in Your Savage Season, Dr. Stone, Given, and Vinland Saga. But we have 5 more to go, which is Lord El-Melloi 2.
Well, before you do that real quick.
Possibly.
Right. Before you do that, I want to say my original number 2 pick was Modao Zushi Season 2. But when I had to replace it because they said it was delayed. It didn't come out in July like it was supposed to. So I replaced it with Case Files, which is the Fate spinoff. But I had just been told today that apparently they dropped episodes 1, 2, 3. They're currently still only in Chinese, so if they put up an English subtitle one, I will be doing that next week because that was my number 2 pick, and I love the first season. I really want to talk about it.
Okay,
if it comes out and subtitled,
all right,
I'll be doing Modao Zushi. If not, I'll be doing Case Files.
All right, so given that, we also have Try Nights. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon Season 2? Bem and Yami Shibai 7. So those are
Season 7.
Season 7, yeah. Thank you very much, yeah. So that is what's left. And we'll probably have a retro in there, at least one retro anime. So, but yeah, that's just your update on impressions. Let's get through these two mailbag questions real quickly.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. If you want to leave a mailbag, and by the way, I added something to the mailbag button earlier this week because somebody was asking about it. I added a retro review request option. So,
good idea.
So when we're trying to pick from like shows that to propose to have a retro review done on, you can if you pick one that we like and we haven't done it yet, then we may do it. First mailbag, given that, is from Dr. Ryan Sharp, who writes, Ohio, AAA Overlords, I happened upon this podcast a few weeks ago and burned through about 80 episodes so far. Damn.
Good Lord.
Have you read this one already?
I don't think so.
No, we haven't.
No? Okay.
Love the show, but it's not... See, people just burn through all the episodes really quickly, quite often.
That's so crazy, man.
Love the show. It's not only made my anime addiction worse, but podcast addiction too. For that, I thank you. Now, for the what is this word? Obescence is out of the way.
Yes.
It's like a polite sucking up and giving thanks or something.
If you were a professor teaching Anime Appreciation 101, what would your syllabus consist of?
I actually really like all of our answers. I love all of our answers for this.
I love this. It's something that we haven't done, so it's really
great
fun.
Fucking question, by the way.
And I just say,
thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. My first class would be Purging the Moe Filth, taught in the church of Mitsugi by the Pope himself. And why it's common sense that Studio Ghibli is and always will be totally unmatched, taught by the Pope Mitsugi himself as well. Of course.
You already have a primer on that course earlier this episode.
Yeah, dude.
Talking about Kiki.
I'm telling you what, people, you have got to go. You have got to see these movies in theaters. Like, you don't even get to watch anime in theaters, let alone Ghibli. So for God's sake, get out and watch it.
It's and I want to say it's not even just for the visual; it's sound. Okay, Ghibli's music is phenomenal.
Oh my God!
Let those speakers wrap you in that shit in the theater,
dude. Joe Hisaishi is a legend. He's a legend.
It's beautiful.
I would pay serious money to see a Joe Hisaishi concert where he's performing.
Dude, I would cry.
I would drop serious cash for that.
What's the movie he just did the soundtrack to?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think it's Children of the Sea.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go check that out for sure.
Anyway, what else you guys got on this?
Mason, you up?
Yeah, I'll go. So I had a couple classes. Class number 1 is Art versus Animation. It's a primer on the aesthetics through a medium of subjective virtues. We're going to talk about my boy, Masaaki Yuasa, Studio Trigger, and Studio Shaft.
I'll be in this class.
Yeah.
I'll be in this class for sure.
Next class is Deconstructing the Deconstructions.
Oh, no. Is this from last week?
Sort of. It's a deep dive, a deep analysis into what makes because so many times
Intellectuals only, man.
Yeah, exactly. But so many
Is this
people
just
say
shitting
like,
on me for saying
this shows a
deconstruction?
No. I feel like on all these like anime message boards, people constantly are saying, "Oh, this is a deconstruction show. This is a deconstruction," and it's never quite right. So this is really talking about what it means. So yeah, get in on that so you don't look like a doofus online.
Damn, bringing the heat.
Mason, let him know.
The next one,
Mason.
the speed of visual sound. This is eyeball training to prepare you to read subtitles at blistering speeds.
So you'll be watching.
Because you'll be watching
Tommy Galaxy
Tommy
at times
Galaxy.
2 speed.
That and Monogatari series.
Monogatari.
You watch an episode and you get tested on like all the quick flash second black screens.
It'll be on the test.
Yes.
Yes.
You will need to study. And then finally, just because of the name, the JoJo Dojo.
I will be in
where we talk about stand feasibility, muscle and posing gains, and the appreciation of rock music.
Does it have a textbook?
The Holy Araki. Yeah, he'll make something special for us.
I'll be there. I'll have to buy the textbook.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to all these classes so far. Like my curriculum is getting full.
Even the Moe filth class.
Oh yes, because here's the thing. In order to fight the enemy, you have to be educated on the enemy. So I'm gonna take your class.
Are you gonna join the
take
Church of
your class.
Mitsugi?
I'm not. Listen, I'm still an archangel of the but
I forgot about that.
But sometimes angels turn their back. Shout out Lucifer, baby.
Sometimes they go dark, baby. Shout out Lucifer.
Shout out Lucifer, my guy.
You just shout. All right, he
Shout
too.
out my boy Ryuji from Devilman.
He too was beautiful in an emo way, I guess. I don't really know.
Oh my god. Shout out Ryuji, dude. All right, Mandy, would you like to go?
My first class is voice recognition. We're gonna study all those sweet voices from all the best seiyuu, so you can also learn how to spot a seiyuu from like a grunt.
Yeah, like Mandy does. Y'all think
like I do.
Y'all think
I
she's
hear
kidding. Y'all think
I
she's
hear
fucking
one
kidding.
word. I'm like, that's that person. I know
that's fucking
exactly who
insane.
you are.
Actually, Mandy, it's funny. At my meetup yesterday at the Brooklyn Anime Meetup, we meet every other week. Haha. Anyway, there was a girl there. Her name was Maria, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm like really into actors." I was like, "You should be friends with my friend Mandy because she will talk to you for eons about that."
The next one is cyborgs and postmodernism. We're gonna talk about Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Postmodernism, baby.
The next one is healing heart. We're gonna learn how Natsume heals all pain in this world.
All pain.
And we're gonna make you feel good. We're gonna make you feel loved.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make friends in class.
It's just yoga class.
And we're gonna share bookmarks.
Yes, we're gonna. We actually did that.
I know.
Anime NYC. We all traded bookmarks. And then the last one is joy of trash. Learning how your taste is trash, but that's okay.
But that's okay. It's okay. Self-love, you know? Damn. All right.
The actual textbook for that is on a crumpled piece of paper.
Okay.
It's just a crumpled piece of paper
Okay,
textbook
so
for that class.
I,
It's literal trash.
I have two classes. I only wrote one down because I just forgot to write the other one. But my class is one that I really think anime viewers that want to watch anime with an objective eye need to learn is story and maintaining stakes throughout an entire arc. Many times in anime, we'll have great stakes that are set up at the beginning that just fall flat in delivery or just pure ignoring of what was set up in the past, and that ruins the show for me really fast. And some people don't see it. So like I think if you watch The Promised Neverland, that's a beautiful example of stakes being introduced episode 1 and then relieved in literally the last episode because they were maintained the entire time. That's a exhibit A of how it's done. So that's my one class. We're gonna read through scripts. We're gonna read through plot synopses, all that stuff. We're gonna get in there, get in the words. And then for my second class is gonna be a music research class, so that we will look into a lot of early rock, early music that influenced a lot of the music in shows. For example, for Kids on the Slope, we're going to look into Art Blakely. We're going to look into John Coltrane. We're going to look into Chet Baker, all those things. We're going to look into that so that when we watch the anime again, we have a deeper appreciation for the show. Yeah.
You know what else we need?
What
We need an entire class because it's gonna take an entire class to do this.
Mhm.
Like an entire year of class.
Mhm.
We're just gonna watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes. That's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all we
At
do.
class. Yeah.
We're gonna watch it 1 episode per class.
Oof, deep dive.
It's
after.
gonna take maybe 2 because hour-long class. We're gonna watch 2. It's gonna You might have to. We might have to split it into two classes.
This is just a whole. It just takes 2 semesters.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy mode. But yeah,
All right.
so I don't know about y'all, but like if this was a real school, like sick.
Welcome to anime.
Sign up. It's called the Discord.
Right?
Maybe I should start a music club on the Discord.
No.
No.
There's so many clubs.
Let's not do that. Okay.
All
I
right.
mean, it's not a bad idea.
All right, so I'm gonna put the kibosh on the last mailbag for now because we're running really late. So
The kibosh.
but we'll do it next time. Okay. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you everyone who listened. Thank you. We made it.
We kicked ass today.
We did.
I'm
We
feeling.
kicked
I'm
up
feeling
It was a
good.
bit of a slow start, but we got there.
The hell with that shit. It
Slow
wasn't
start 'cause
slow.
of-
It was good. I'm sorry. I'm definitely rusty. I feel myself being like, yeah, I'm not good at this after taking.
You need some
weeks
oil.
off. God, I need some oil. That's true.
Go chow down some pizza. That'll
Get us out of here, Mandy.
lubricate you.
Oof. Get the
So,
veins
if
flowing.
again you want to join us, we have so much stuff. Go to aapodcast.com/join. Those are words. You get hentai episodes, hobby addicts, after parties, up to 8 additional podcast episodes.
Yes.
Go to iTunes. Man, look, guys, my brain is shot. iTunes. Subscribe to us. Help us be #1. Facebook. Again, I post a lot of stuff on Twitter, which is aapodcast.com or aapodcast at Twitter. Yeah. Anyone want to shout shit out before we run away and I can finally fix my tongue?
Yeah, Twitter. You can find me at Enzobadia, ENZOBADIA. Also, if you live in New York and you live near Brooklyn, come join the Brooklyn Anime Meetup. We are 400 members strong now. 400.
Damn.
Community of people that meet up every other week. It's awesome. Come join us. We hang out.
I want that Naruto, I believe it, fan art meme.
to him.
Make it happen.
Give it to
I
him.
need
Make
to
it
be
happen.
fed.
Make it happen.
I'm at Mandy, AAA_Mandy, Twitter.com and listen to shit my mom says.
Talk about them pizza party rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Those roly-poly pizzas.
Roly-poly pizza.
Mitts.
I'm at Pope Mitsugi on Twitter, but I'm a terrible follow, so you shouldn't follow me.
Just tell your friends. Subject your family.
All I do is like things about cryptocurrency and sports, so it's not really very interesting.
Oof. Big yikes. All right,
Just
guys.
warning
Tell your
you.
friends about us. Spread the podcast love.
Thank
We love
you.
you so much. I miss being here. That's it. That's it.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye.